Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy, and I'm here to just have a general study and a general discussion, most likely surrounding love. Yes, love. Over here at Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. We are in the month of February, which is what? Synonymous with Valentine's and therefore love. By email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. How you doing, 1-2? Happy Black History Month, and of course, happy Black History Month. Yes. Oh, I'm gonna have to come back and do something for Black History Month. I don't know what it would be. I have to think on that. Oh, thank you, 1-2. Thank you. You have played the role of a muse today. Black History Month live stream. That'll be nice. Maybe on Miss Cicely Tyson. Maybe, since she just departed this earth. And she had a very, very long career. So this video is just to go live, to catch up with you ladies and gentlemen and stuff like that. Thank you. You're honored. You're honored. I'm happy to hear that. Because some people get mad when you tell, like, oh, I'm going to use your idea. And so what I want to do for this live stream, I'm just playing it by ear. I don't plan to be on here a long time. But again, just to touch base, answer some questions if people have questions. But I do want to take a look at the astrological energies for, oh, that does not, oh, maybe it's just mine. Hi, Yanni, how are you? Thank you very much. Oh, let me recognize Aquarius. It's Aquarius season. Happy birthday, Aquariuses. I got to get in the habit of doing that, for all the zodiac signs. But I'm partial. I'm partial because I'm an Aquarius. So, a bias. All right. So, you should be able to see, let me see. Yeah. You should be able to see an astrological chart. I am on the website www.planetwatchers.com. I don't know if I can legally use this site, but I am. I'm going to use it. And so I'm going to adjust the that you see to February 14th. Let's see what happens. Well, if I click sometime, it doesn't. Oh, it jumped. Okay. But it's 12 p.m. 12 p.m. 12 p.m. That's a good time. Midday. Just to kind of see what the astrological alignment looks like for February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. Let's see. It's been so long since I had some love. Oh, Valentine's Day falls on Sunday. Okay, that's nice. All right. It might be a laid back, nice, relaxing day. Maybe folks can go to church and get them some Christianity, some religion, and something like that. And so I just wanted to take a look at the chart real quick. Nothing too intense, but just to kind of maybe get an idea of what the astrological energies are talking about. Well, if I can, or I didn't lock down my magnifying glass. Okay, there it goes. Okay. Well, we're going to start here. And the reason I want to start here is because this glyph is Aries. And Aries occupies the first house in astrology. And the first house represents your physical avatar. Your soul jumped into a body. So Aries represents that, our bodies that's animated and compelled to move forward through life and to participate in life itself. And so, oh, I should have said, let me open up another board over here so that I can see the details in detail. Let's see, did it get the same kind though? I cannot see. I got to expand this board because I can't see. Yeah, okay, same time. Remember, this is just like an open floor live. So we can talk about whatever. Right now, I can't see. I wonder, I don't know, how do I be pulling that out? I did it. I did it. I did it. Okay. But I want to be able to see y'all in case somebody make a comment. All right. Okay. Uh-oh. I almost did a sound check by mistake. Okay. So I got y'all over here in case somebody say something. Dang. Now this is just a shame. Let me see. Why can't I make this board? Okay, there goes something I can see. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Well, I got the chat going on. Let's see. I'm going to click on live chat, see if that make a difference. Says, I'm fine. Thanks. Started exercising. Thank God. Go on with your bad self. The other day, let me see how y'all seeing me. Okay. The other day, I was watching TV. I found a new program. Oh, I got to talk about this new program I found. I think it came out in 2012 or 10 or something. I don't even remember. But anyway, so I'm this new program that I found on NBC. The program is called, it came out again in 2010 or 2012, The Event. So I do want to talk about it. Okay. But it has commercials. And so they had a Planet Fitness commercial with the exercising, and it says no commitment, $10 a month. So I was like, oh, I would like to do that. But I looked in my area, and as of now, I'm not driving. Okay, I told y'all I can't afford the insurance, and I'm not trying to go to jail, so I ain't been driving. But I was like, all of them were out of my range. But I was like, I'm gonna try. I gotta try to find something closer. It got to be one closer. But I was like, I'm going to get on that elliptical, get my exercise on, you know, so I can be a sex 50, a sexy 51, sexy 51. So I'm going to try that. $10 a month. I think I can, you know, swing that. But anyway, this series called The Event. I never heard of it until actually yesterday. Either it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, day before. So I started binge watching season 1. I don't know how many seasons there are. I'm on season 1, episode 7. Anyway, the reason why, excuse me, I'm talking about this series is number one. Since I've been here on YouTube, I started hearing people refer to an event, calling it The Event. And I rang my and put my little 2 cents in on the event. I was like, the way people were describing the event, the occurrences, I was like, well, that's something that I know a little bit about, which was the sequence of events that would lead us to where we are today, including the vid and the vax and everything. And so I was talking about it, the event, from my perspective and my understanding. But others were talking about this event as more of a spiritual ascension and rising from the 3rd dimension to the 4th and 5th dimension and shifting and dividing Earth, you know, literally. And some people were speaking of the event as if it was just going to be a moment in time. And I have not experienced anything that occurs just, well, most events, I'll say, none of them occur in just a moment in time. Even life and death have its process. And it takes many moments for any event to be completed, you know, run its full course. And so anyway, I started watching this movie, and I was like, this series, and I was like, I wonder, did that trending subject of the topic, the event, come from that series? Did somebody take that from that series and run with it? And I was like, if that's the case, which it probably is, and it also makes my thoughts on trending topics make sense, is that people just are influenced by what they see, like in media, and they just run with it. And they start creating these different scenarios or suggest alternative, uh, potential manifestations in this earth, and they really don't even have any grounding. Because that topic, the event was a big thing. I tell y'all, a YouTube junkie. I don't fake the funk. I be on everybody's page. It don't matter what nationality they are. It don't matter what language they speak. I be on everybody's channel trying to see what I can see. And that was one of the things I saw running everywhere. And I was like, and a lot of what I heard people speak of over the last several years relative to the event seemed like a bunch of exaggerated BS. But I was like, people fell for a hook, line, and sinker, you know. And maybe I'm so judgmental and critical because if you follow me, I be trying to go into so much detail to it is long and drawn out. And I tell you, I'll go to that extent to try to deliver my messages because when I was in school, I had problems learning. I don't think that I might have been slow, but I don't think I was really slow as far as learning. It was how the instructors taught the information. We have come to understand, during this awakening, that a lot of what we were taught was just kind of imposed upon us, and we're expected to learn it and accept it and regurgitate it. And that's how I was taught by most of my professors, even teachers all the way through school. But so this is an Aquarius rant, y'all. But it was surprising to me when I was in college because I was like, I expected more, and I did get more from a few teachers, and I have talked about them here on my channel. I talked about my art history professor. Her name was Miss Perla, and how professional she was, and how what an enthusiastic teacher she was. And she really cared about her students, all her students, no matter what race we were. She was a white woman. She didn't care. She loved teaching, and she taught so passionately. And with such detail, and she allowed us also to express ourselves, which I loved about her. And so I carry her in my heart. And I also talked about another teacher I had. I can't remember exactly what class this was off the top of my head, but I remember the teacher name was Mr. John. And this is a story I told you where Mr. John got fired for racism. But the man wasn't racist. I don't think he was racist because he who was left in his class that he didn't offend and they didn't get to walk out. I did not walk out. He loved us all and he taught us. He was another instructor, white guy, that was enthusiastic about teaching, and he wanted us to understand and see the world for what it really was and is. And I think he got fired probably got fired because he was really, really harsh. I mean, he'd call you out, black, white, Chinese, just a freaking. He didn't care. He moved to insult people because he didn't want any people that were weak at heart in his class. When he got rid of what he would, I guess, categorize as a riffraff, that man taught us very passionately, and was very supportive of us. I had a few teachers that were just like amazing, and they may very well have contributed to my initial awakening. Really, really did, because they had been in these various sectors of our social construct, and so they were again professors. Some of the teachers I had held doctrines, and so that means that they were really embedded in their field of interest. And so they got to witnessed like the corruption or the lack of integrity in whatever field again they were expert in, and they brought it to the table. And I told you I took computers. I think it was called CSI, computer science, computer information science or something. CSI 101, 102. Didn't learn nothing. And that teacher, I cannot remember his name because they got rid of him too. He was another person. They got rid of anybody in that university, in those universities, because I attended multiples, that went above and beyond the call of duty. And I guess was waking the students up, the next generation. Anywho, I forgot what I was talking about, y'all. Total Aquarius rant. I gotta think, but I was talking about that program. I was talking about the program, the event. I'm back to the series, the event. And so as I shared, I'm on season 1, episode 7. And it seems to be about it got so many characters and so many layers, but it seems to be about the presence of extraterrestrial beings on this planet that look like exactly like us, but they have some biological differences. Like they age excessively slow in comparison to us. A person looked the same way for 100 years at least. And so I haven't really, and also, and they are extremely more advanced than, you know, us. And so the truth of these extraterrestrial beings had been kept from humanity for, I think in a movie about 70 years. So the government, the .gov knew of them, actually had them held prisoner for 66 years. So I think it was 66 years. Had them held prisoner because their ship crashed here on Earth. Anyway, they're here on some type of mission. I haven't gotten to the point to truly understand the mission that they are on in this series. I'm talking about the series, the event, because number one, when I saw it, I was like, did people take this series that came out some almost 10 years ago and just run with it? Or were they like myself? I'm sure some were, you know, that were into these different unusual ideas, ideologies, or unusual awareness, knew of it. But I really get the feeling that, again, a lot of things that I saw here on YouTube, when people were talking about the event, I was like, what is they talking about? What are they talking about? And so anyway, I'm watching this movie, and the one thing I can recall that this extraterrestrial species is capable of doing, they're capable of suspending the human body to the point, from our perspective, they look like they're dead and are able to reanimate the person. And then also their technology. They can space travel and, you know, do all that kind of stuff. So those are the things that I saw in that series. And but what I'm saying, some of what I've been seeing in the series since I started watching it lines up with, again, that the descriptions of some of the unusual descriptions that I've heard associated with the event. And so I just really, you know, I'd be concerned because, and I'm serious minded. That's why I won't say I'm very serious minded, I guess, and judgmental. To me, none of this is a game. Y'all always, if you follow me, hear me say, okay, my channel is categorized under entertainment, but that's for, you know, legal purposes. I don't want to be Miss Cleo and catch no cases or nothing like that. So, so you will say entertainment, but to me, this is my reality. It's serious to me, and maybe I'm just too serious. But that's the catch-22 in life. Most times, what I've come to see most times, the truth, it seems so far removed from us in the time period in which we live. And the revelation also is so seems so separate from the period in which we live that we can't care. It's like we can't care about what's important. We can't see, when I say we, I'm talking about society, or the societies of the world. We can't see what is, what's the word I want to use? We can't see what really is. We're not understanding life, why we're here. We're not taking it seriously. And my studies have revealed to me that this experience called life that we have incarnated into, and everything that we experience, we're supposed to be taken seriously. But we're busy playing and full of folly and things like. And I understand that we've been socially engineered for hundreds of years to do so. And because we've been socially engineered to perceive this realm as a vacation, place, for lack of better words, it is going to be humanity's detriment. But again, we're so far moved from the concept of each of us create humanity, that we are one of many, And I was like, so I was talking to myself or God or my higher self, however you like to label it. I was like, how does a person lead a person or others to take this experience more seriously, since our, again, very soul, our very essence depends on it. I ain't being funny. Humanity, over the history of humanity, we got screwed. And I'm wondering by whom. I think aliens or something, or some extraterrestrial being. Not to say they got to be gray or reptilian, but reptilian might be it. But we got screwed, and we don't know we got screwed. And I want to say some other stuff, but I don't be wanting to disturb people in a, psyche and stuff, or cause your hearts to worry. If I was, by saying what I really want to say, but it is that we are supposed to take this experience much more seriously. I'm going to give you an example of a time period in which people took life much more seriously. An example is the movie, what is it, A Million Ways to Die in the West or something like that? Well, they took that man, the main character in that movie, I think it was called A Million Ways to Die in the West. That main character, I can't remember his name, he took life seriously. And he goes on this rant in the movie to about you could die by a snake bite, you could die by syphilis, back in that time period, because it wasn't the medicine, it wasn't the technological or medical know-how to sustain people's lives. He's like, you can die by this, you can die by that. And he talked about the lifespan of the people during that time. So he is an excellent example of a person, figurative person, a character that existed throughout the history of humanity that took this thing serious. Like, we have to learn how to combat that which is a threat to us in order to ensure or increase our survival. And then it gets to the level of the soul, which is a whole different thing, which is so interesting to me, how we have been manipulated, socially engineered, not to recognize that we got a soul. That's some deep stuff. And we are confronted with it quite frequently, that we have a soul or something that inhabits and animates our body for our lifetime. And what I'm saying, and I've said this before, all the evidence you need is to go see somebody that's deceased and you see the void there, that there is gone. The essence, the energy, the spark, the jolt. It's that part that we're supposed to be so concerned with. Not really the physical body, but the longer we can keep this physical body up and running, it helps borrow us some time to deal with the soul stuff, you know? And so anyway, I'm on this little piece of Aquarius rant because I get so irritated and frustrated and judgmental because there's so many people that are like playing with this whole thing. This whole thing. Another thing that's been bothering me, continuing with the Aquarius rant because this is just a general discussion, is the capitalism that is attached to our experience and also our ascension process. I made a video a while back. I don't even know how long it's been. And it's called Spirituality for Sale. And I talk about why spirituality is currently for sale. And it is due to the regulations that are imposed and enforced by the .gov. Bottom line, if you don't follow the rules, if you don't pay the taxes, then, you know, like the Queen of the Hearts, off with your head. So, okay, it's for sale. But I see that people are trying to transition from the old paradigm into the new paradigm. I am seeing people that are very anxious to do what? Transition from the old paradigm, the way we used to have the various methods we used to have to earn the resources that we need to sustain our life and to live the quality of life we desire for ourselves. Well, it has to be it is a transition that's taking place. We're in the middle of it, where the old paradigm is only going to offer so many different methods or means to, you know, buy into or get the resources to buy into what sustaining your life and trying to live out the best quality of life, you know, that you desire for yourself. Those means are changing. An example is like a lot of places have closed. No matter what somebody says in this world, our world is never going to be the same. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these restaurants and small businesses, it was only a few anyway, they closed down, are never going to open up again for different reasons. Never. And so if there was already a shortage of jobs, especially in this country, hell, it's throughout the world. You remember, United States is a super, what they call it, a super nation or super whatever it is, you know. So we had more opportunities basically than any other country in the world. And if we were having job shortages and now all of this that has occurred, it's not going to be the same. So how do you take care of yourself from here on out? You know, I get this question too. I could barely take care of myself in the old system. So now, everything is thinned out. How you going to take care of yourself? So a lot of people are very anxious and eager. You know, again, many people are materialistic. And I can understand that too. Materialistic. And they're concerned about them being to keep up their fronts and get all the bells and whistles that's offered in this world. How are they going to do it? And so again, it's this anxiety in this transition, or you know, transitioning from the old paradigm, the means of making ends meet, to the new means to making ends meet. And I did a video, I think it was last year or the year before, and it was called it was health, a new paradigm living, health consciousness or something like that. Didn't get many views on it. I guess then nobody won't hear health advice from a fat person. I guess that's what it was. But I'm bringing it up again. And I was talking about how a lot of people are promoting various elixirs and different things like that, potions to help you do this and that, and grow your hair and your nails and get thin and burn fat and whatever else. Help you ascend to your best person. Everything focusing on the physical still and not the spirit. I'm about to read y'all comments in a minute, but while I'm on the wave, I want to ride it, y'all. So I was like in that video, I was like, y'all need to be real careful with these elixirs. I do believe some of them can help you with whatever limitations you may have or ailments you may have, but you have to be aware of what your laboratory, what do you call it, your labs, when they take all your blood work, because if you take too much vitamin D, it can cause some negative effects. If you take too much vitamin A, K, Z, you name it, it can lead to some negative effects. And so I was pointed out, but a reason why I moved to point that out during that time period was because I realized that we're all looking for a new means to do what? Be able to sustain our lives. And so people are desperate. They're not thinking about, too much vitamin D or too much magnesium or too much, I don't know, zinc can harm you. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking, oh, this is some healthy stuff. They could take this and I'll, the creator, create this fancy elixir, put it in a bottle or whatever, and the people going to buy it and eat it up. And I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to have that means or that flow of money or stream of money coming to me, financing to what? Sustain my life and my well-being, et cetera, et cetera. You don't even know if them people take that stuff. And then you don't even know what extent as well that they go to, if they do, to make sure that their labs are in range, the healthy range for their unique physical makeup, And so that's one way. Another way that I see people are, trying to figure out a new means desperately is when it comes to this cryptocurrency stuff, I don't know a lot about cryptocurrency, just a little. I do know that we're going to try. I have no doubt, don't get me wrong, that we are transitioning from paper money and coins to a digital currency. That's going to happen. But who's going to control that digital currency? The way cryptocurrency seems like it is, it's like it's the money of the people. Where is the central source that is over, holding this money? This is my belief. I'm not a professional. I don't hold no degrees, no accolades, and accounting, or nothing like that. But my sense, I don't know how common it is, y'all. I don't know how common it is. So take what I talk about with a grain of salt. Is we're moving from an old paradigm to a new paradigm, right? The government that has ruled over the old paradigm is reorganizing itself or recalibrating itself, y'all. It ain't going nowhere. It just may seem like it, but it ain't going nowhere. So whatever ends up being the end result or the new result to the new reform.gov, they're going to rule the financial world, period. Meaning when the cryptocurrency come up, they're going to be the central figures controlling it, whether you know it or not, period. They're going to control that cryptocurrency. And then we're talking about something that's it's going to be international. The crypto thing is going to be international. But anyway, what I'm talking about the preliminary foundation of getting these various cryptocurrencies up. What's the name? It's called Bitcoin as an example. I've been seeing a lot of people in my local neighborhood at our gas station going to buy the cryptocurrency. Maybe the young folk know how to use the cryptocurrency right now more than I do. I don't know. But I'm seeing people buying. And I have a relative who's in a professional sector. I guess she would be considered high middle class, low wealthy, low rich, last thing I know. So she's okay. she's established in her life. And I remember 2 investments. She used to work on the stock market as well. But she said that the stock market was something that gave her real bad ulcers. She said it was so uncertain and fluctuating and which is interesting because when it comes to the stock market, we're dealing the society is dealing with the actual physical natural resources in this world, like the fibers and cottons and elements and foods and things like that. So okay, but she said it's really, really chaotic, really stressful. One minute she make a lot of money and the next none. So she can deal with that. Then so while she's doing these things, she has always has had her hand in a lot of different fires. She's also been a governor. So I'm saying this because she has hands in a lot of fires, and she's a professional. She's a psychiatrist by profession, and so she has always, what do they say, diversify your portfolio or something like that. Okay. So I remember some of the investments that she invested in. One was when Skype first came, before we even knew about it. When they were developing the program and everything, she told me about Skype, and I was, oh, that's a good one. I never had the financial resources to invest in anything. I'm just a single mama from the hood that took care of her children. So I didn't have, the means to invest. And so I was like, well, that's going to be a good one. But I remember when she shared that with me, I knew about how we would be able to instant message at this time. That was some 20 something, my son 31, about 30 years ago, 20, between 25 and 30 years ago when she told me about that. And could you imagine me as an individual, Aquarius Rant? I had suffered from depression because I saw where the world was going. I saw where the United States was going, and I couldn't even afford to get in. That's saying no backing, just a single woman that had a lot of children and no finances up to literally sustain our life. That was a crazy experience to know things that are about to happen and can't get in on. That's some crazy stuff. And here I sit. Anywho, and the next thing I remember her telling me about, she told me about a few things, but it was when the cryptocurrency came. And she talked about the cryptocurrency, and she told me whatever she had told me about it. And I was like, oh, and the price it was at the time. I said, oh, you need to go ahead and invest. I think she said she's going to only invest at the time about $15,000, something like that. But the reason why she said she was not going to invest a lot is because she said you never put all your eggs in one basket. That's one. Okay, we know that. And that it's new, and she got to get a feel for it because she kind of understood it, but not wholeheartedly, And so I remember making her investment, and that was, where was I at? That was a long time ago too. I think the Skype came first though. So cryptocurrency one had a bit about maybe 15, 20 years ago, but they was like almost like back to back investments. And so when cryptocurrency came up, so I'm sitting here like, no time I couldn't invest, but I'm watching it, like, wow, she talked about that. And they start talking about people that had started investing in cryptocurrency had got up there. I think it was one time it was like $28,000 when it first started or something. I can't really remember the figures, so don't quote me on it. Remember, I'm not the crispiest cookie in the jar. Right now, I'm just Aquarius ranting. Why? Because I'm irritated. That's why. I cuss and fuss. That's what I do. So I was like, so I'm watching this market build, relative to cryptocurrency. And a couple of years went past, and it was this considerable drop. And again, I don't know much at all about investing or stocks or anything like that. But I remember, let me tell you about another person. Hopefully I remember, because I'm telling this part. I have another associate, and this associate, she is a candy maker. I'll say that. She built her own business from the ground up, started in a home, doing very well now. Anyway, I worked with her when she was, you know, basically promoting herself, getting up, helping her make her sales and stuff. And so the company that she was keeping um, put me in close proximity with a person that was also building up their own business, you know, so they kind of networking. This person was building up their own business, a white guy, building up his own business. I can't remember what it was that he had, but he also was promoting cryptocurrency, you know, Bitcoin, actually. And so he was trying to talk to me about investing in Bitcoin. I'm looking at him. He probably thought I was one of them. I'm just here as an assistant. And so he talking to me about crypto currency and the opportunity. So my point of talking about him, he saw he was on the what do you call it? He was with the riding the wave into from the old paradigm into the new paradigm. He was ahead, you know, not as ahead as my cousin, but because this was in the last 5 or 6, about 6, 7 years, I'll say. So he riding this way and looking for another stream of income, you know. And so he trying to promote it and everything. And it was just a desperation. I just remember the desperation that he eluded. I was like, okay. He was very enthusiastic. Okay, thank you. You know, for the information, I gotta research it a little more. I ain't gonna say I'm broke and I ain't got it. No, I'm gonna just research it a little more. You know, I'll contact you if I need you. You know, and so I bring him up because, and I'll go back to my family member. So the cryptocurrency, after its onset, talking about Bitcoin, it grew and it boomed and ballooned and everybody's, you know, and then it was this bust and it just dropped down like crazy. Like, wow. I was like, I understand. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm trying to go somewhere with this. I remember I'm not a professional, so I really don't know the terms and the terminology or nothing like that. So all I could see in my mind's eye, I was like, okay, talking to my higher self, if I had $1,000 to invest, not at the time my cousin first told me about the Bitcoin, you know, the rise of the Bitcoin, because they were just really setting up the whole app, developing it, all that kind of stuff when she got on. But you know, by the time it got to the general populace that we could invest, I started to take, you know, $1,000 and invest. But it was between me and my kids living our best lives or the investment. And I say our best lives, I'm talking about just survival. With a little, maybe a little bit extra that we can look all right when we go out, or I can invest. Well, I chose to keep taking care of me and my kids with the best of my ability, giving them a little extra so they won't go to the street, come to mom. So, but had I invested that $1,000, which was a tidbit, remember my cousin, she off rip was thinking about investing about $15,000, $25,000 or whatever it was. I just invest my measly, and now I'm talking about she's at the foundation when they build and lay in the floor of it. That's when she is investing. I'm just investing in the actual cryptocurrency was established, you know, $1,000. Had I done that, it is possible based on my level of comprehension and awareness. Look at this wig. That had I invested that $1,000, when that cryptocurrency fell or popped or whatever it do, I'd have lost my $1,000. But to who and to what? You know what I'm saying? When that cryptocurrency drops, the people at the bottom is losing. Maybe those that have invested a whole lot, their investment is maybe depreciated a little bit. And then when people get back on to the cryptocurrency and the bottom start buying again, they build their, what is it called, revenue or something like that. But when them mother sucker drop, do you know that got to wipe out the bottom half investors? That's how I see it. Now, I could be wrong. I do need some financial education. However, that costs too. So I have to live and learn. So anyway, I'm going to read the chat because I'm going somewhere with it, but I miss out on what's being said in the chat. It's just running my mouth. But I did come here to try to talk a little bit about love. I really did. In light of February. So let's see. It says, but yeah. Y'all said a couple of things. Hold on. Thank y'all for coming here to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. I love you. I do. I love you. Y'all stay safe. Make sure you click the thumb bell so you can be notified when I go live or upload a video. Ask you to please like it, hit the thumb bell thing. The thumb bell thing. You know I'm old. And share my channel with others. And okay, let's see. What did I miss over here? Yes, do it. Strong body supports the soul. It does. It does. My soul been begging me. LOL. I could imagine buying two. Look, it'd be like Nancy. Nancy. And the crazy thing is, when I was younger, it seemed like it was so much easier. It was so much easier. I used to fast. I done been a vegetarian before. It was so much easier. I'm just weak now. Just weak. Ain't execute no strength in no way. I've been down so many rabbit holes trying to find out the truth, honey. I just stay on down in the rabbit hole. I've been down in the rabbit hole so long. It's my home now. Truth is no joke. When I say Camille, that I was like the other day, I was sitting thinking. I said, now, have I learned anything? That's what I asked myself. Have you learned anything, Nancy? I got the phase of my life where I just learned from life. I talk about my life experiences fairly openly here on YouTube. I said, did I learn anything? I gained some clarity. I said, then I went into this segment of the metaphysical or the occult or and divination and everything sometime before YouTube, but primarily here on YouTube. Have you learned anything, Nancy? I done learned a few things, but it don't matter how much I learn. It's like I'm not getting the answers that I really, really freaking need. And so I've been wondering and asking God, why can't I get the answer? The answer to make me stop asking questions. I was like, okay, Lord, I'm starting to feel like I'm in hell. It's repetitive trying to look for these answers to make this experience make sense. The truth is no joke. It doesn't have, and I guess the truth, the reality is there are some truths that we won't know. And I think that has to do with every person. What is y'all doing and you know I'm live? I think we cannot find out the total truth or the absolute truth, because I think the truth is composed of everybody that has ever existed. Not everybody, every element that has existed since the creation of this realm creates the truth. You know, let's say 1,000,000 years ago, whatever rock formation existed and all that has gone through in the 1,000,000 years that has existed, it has information stored in it. We know it. We use it today, but we can't get the full testimony, complete, unfiltered testimony of that of that mountain or that sediment. We can't. We can extract some of it, but not all of it. And I think that exists for every aspect of our reality that was created by the creator of this realm. So that includes, again, every sediment, every mineral, every element, the trees, the birds, the air. And I'm talking about since the beginning of when this realm was created, in everything, down to us at this moment, and every, again, piece of rock or debris out there that the creator created, and it's just shifted over time, whatever, all has its own unique testimony and or perspective. And together, everything that way past what we can comprehend composes the truth. And so I don't think we can actually ever know the truth. I think we can acquire enough information in order to manage our physical worldly experience at the time that we live successfully. I think that's about the best we can do. I don't know, maybe. It's a television shows are offering us ideas that we can choose to help manifest, or we can create something else. That's true. That's true. A work vacation, we got robbed. You get robbed. Everybody got robbed. I was reading the book of Daniel, chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar, demanding everyone to bow down to his idol. People do not realize the consequences of doing so. Victory only comes when we stand. It only comes when you stand. But most people don't know what to stand for. Again, it's that complexity in getting to the truth. And like I'm talking about, I think the truth is the accumulation of everything that has was created and evolved since the creation of this realm. And so when I'm saying, hey, people, individuals cannot see the truth, number one, for that. And another thing is because the final truth, the true revelation exists at the end of time, at the end of this realm, the existence of this realm. It's like that old quote, it ain't over till the fat lady sing. So the true, complete, these motherfuckers shooting the goddamn gun. What's today? Oh my God. And now I'm about to go ranting on that. I'm tired of, can I say the word? Can I say the N word? I won't say the N word so bad. I'm a refrain. I'm trying to get back to being professional. You say, LOL, health advice from a fat person. Ain't that something? Don't nobody want that. Don't nobody want that. That time in the history of humanity has come and gone. Don't nobody want to hear from no fat person unless they stop. These motherfuckers having a shootout. What a great point. Many products are not regulated. A whole bunch ain't. Cryptocurrency is like a digital barter system with coins. Right? It's a digital bartering system with binary codes. You know, it's just imaginary. The cryptocurrency shows us just how imaginary our paper money is. It's the same thing. Except for the paper money, at least we had that. We can hold on to that. The cryptocurrency is the imagination. It was just like my real money. It was just my imagination running away with me. I thought I had some money. But that cryptocurrency is a little scary to me. You know? Like our old paradigm, the banks, you know, you go to the bank and say your money is insured by whomever, it was something Federal Reserve or whatever, up to 10, 12 and a half, no, it was 100,000 or something like dollars or something, depending on what, I guess, financial institution you go to and their predominant clientele. But who is backing and securing the cryptocurrency? That's what I wonder. Because there's too much corruption around here. You know, too much corruption. Like, it be running away with me. Girl, I be thinking I got some money somewhere. I done woke up be like, all in my purse. Like, I thought I had some money. I thought I had some money. I was fooled. Man, oh man. I'll be getting up ready to go. Wake up like, yeah. Be happy. Find I ain't got no money. I'll be just sad. Shit. Can't go nowhere. Don't nobody want to see you. Don't nobody want to be your friend when you're broke. It's sad. Now, let me talk about these N words. And when I say N words, I'm not just talking about people with the melanin. I'm just talking about them N word people across the board. I done met them in all races. Quite a few races. I ain't met every race in the world, but the ones that I met, they got their population of N's too. These mother suckers right here, when I say they vibration is so freaking low. Not too long ago in this live stream, I was talking about how we're not taking this realm seriously. We can't, because we can't see the truth, you know. So we're detached. We mentally, spiritually, and emotionally detached from our experience. And because of this type of detachment, people don't care. They can't care. It's nothing to motivate them to care or motivate them to do better. That's to say, be um, a, a righteous type person. It's nothing. When I say people, and I don't, I mean, I'm referring to over my whole life experience, all the ends I encountered. But right now, I'm talking right here, right now, in the space in which I sit, and all that I'm exposed to right here, right now, because it's getting on my nerves. You know, I'm judgmental. I'm an Aquarius. That's what I do. I'm righteous. They ain't. So, but I'm looking at, like I told y'all, I've been telling y'all, I live off of Main Avenue. In the last few years, they opened up a hall, or what do you call it? A club hall that you rent for weddings and receptions and parties and whatever that thing called. And in this last year, they shooting. I'm sitting up here paranoid that a bullet would fly through or something. They shooting. Then all of a sudden, again, I live in the D. I live off of Main Ave. But for the first time in my 50 years here on Earth, and in the time period I've been in the D, now on this Main Avenue, not even maybe, I don't even think it's barely 1/4 of a mile, they done made it the drag strip with all the hot boys and hot girls and the hot cars. They down there shooting. When I say this past summer and the summer before, I could be sitting up here on the live or just doing some study, doing whatever I'm doing. And all of a sudden I can hear them squealing the tires of these hot rods and different cars squealing down the Main Avenue, and then just gunfire, ta, 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 fire exchange. I'm looking like, and I know the majority of those people that frequent like that drag strip area is the younger generation. I know that. There are some older ones. I ain't been back because last time I was in a shootout, so I ain't been back. It's been about 2-3 years, but it wasn't in my area at the time. And I was like, the devil playing with me. The devil playing with me or something. Because again, I've been in Detroit. I'm a lifelong Detroiter. Yes, I done moved out. I done lived, but I always came back. So I know where all the drag strips throughout the whole city have been worked. I have participated. Well, I not personally, my children participated when we were younger, you know. Yeah, I say even in the last few years, I done sat in the midst of the hangout, you know. And so I would sit amongst my peers in old school, and then the younger generation ended up in a shootout. I ain't been back no more. I was like, oh, no, 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 somebody trying to put a hit on me. I can't take. I told y'all people trying to put hits on me throughout my life. I was paranoid. So, okay, I'm framing now. And so now I know I ain't going back. Hot dang if it ain't pop up right here. Right down. And I mean, I'm talking about these things, these people shooting, and the violence. I talked about a page on Facebook that I found, and it's called Detroit, the Detroit Scanner. And I guess it's a person like one of us who has access to the scanning stuff devices where they can hear on the radio, and so they talk about all the stuff they hear come across the radio. And when I say it's so much violence, it's so much violence of all type. I mean, all types of stuff going on, at least in the D. And I'm sure it's just not the D. I live multiple places, but it's something about the inner city. I guess that the population is more condensed, larger and more condensed. It's like people are insane, literally. And I look at my kids sometimes. I'm gonna talk about them too. I don't care. They know it. Like y'all crazy. I don't know who y'all are. I always tell y'all, in my experience, I really had to do battle to stay the primary focus or ruler or parent in my kids' life because of their peers. You know, that goes into the drugs and the alcohol and the basically the sins of the parents, you know, leaving the kids at their own, thing. Um, but I'd be like looking at some of the things that my children do. I'd be like, why are you doing that? You know, that's counterproductive, yada, yada, whatever the case may be. But I see them, I was like, y'all a bunch of followers. I'm a mean mama. I was like, I don't care how popular something is. Like, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I won't talk about them too bad. But I will. Is this some glasses called the Cartiers. And I think these Cartiers start off at $1,000. Now, over the last 10, 15 years or something, about 10, 15 years, Cartiers became very, very popular in the hood. And people purchase them and wear them and get murdered for them. I wouldn't dare buy or wear Cartier, even if I can afford it. In actuality, if I wanted to, I could buy some Cartiers. I had to let a bunch of other stuff slide. You know, that's what some people do, let a whole bunch of other stuff slide. and get that. I won't do it. But tell me why my kids have done it. Even though I keep them up to date with everything that's going on, they hear the hearsay and see the news and they find out about their peers in school being murdered and different things for such things. These gym shoes, these glasses, but they still do it. Why? Because it's cool and it's popular. It was popping. I'm like, y'all, what is this? So when you walk out the door, oh my goodness, look at the, you know, shh, don't tell nobody. I have to worry about y'all. I got to worry about y'all. And could you imagine worrying about your kids every day they go out the door because of what they decide to wear? And they ain't gonna listen to nothing. I say I'm old. When they tell me I'm old and lame, let me turn this way. This little wig is just really getting a little. Let me see this. Oh, my brush over there. A little wig. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my brush because my wig moving. I got to put it back. See, that's why I couldn't stay no hot girl, because I have to do this stuff too much. Could you imagine? I want to do this all the damn time. This is damn hair and nails and shit popping and flying and freezing, and I guess it's better than mine because my hair roll up on me in a hot second. I'm like Cher. I need a new one installed. My magic brush. But I don't understand for the life of me. Let's see. I'm not going to be scared to go out though. I'm not going. We had, back in the day, we had me and their father, well, it was his car, but he had gotten himself. I think it was called Monte Carlo. SS Monte Carlo was popping during our generation. And so he finally gets this car the way he wanted, all hyped up and sports up, and he wanted me to drive it. I drove it a few times. I was paranoid as hell. Something because they, that carjack here. Don't carjack me for no car. I'll get me a little hoopty. I told everybody, be like, here she comes. The granny car pulling up all slow. I don't want all that. I do not want to be walking around fearing that I'm going to get hurt for some material thing. I just want to be able to, move about freely and do what I got to do. I'm talking about all this because in my media environment, what I'm experiencing is it almost seems like a hopeless case from my perspective. Hopeless in the content, in the relative to us ascending, the masses ascending and awakening and becoming aware and conscious. People are consumed, literally. This is the first phase of entering into hell, one of the realms, consumed with a materialism and egotism. I think I have a level of arrogance and egotism, but poverty brought that down. Probably that's what happened. But not to kill people, Or I hope don't nobody ever make me have to do that. Lord, please. I don't want to. But you gotta do what you gotta do. However, but I'm talking about is I just experience and see hate every day. Um, I see what is it? Like I was talking about the business aspect, or the economic aspect of the transition from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. Always a hustle. It does not matter. I'm saying I'm not talking about just my people, black people. I'm talking to people that I have come in close proximity with one way or another. So it's any race, I in the course of my life I done dealt with and engaged with a lot of different races. I told y'all I had world travels. I've been to multiple universities that give you a lot of exposure, different kind of things like that. Even in the inner city, there's still different races that a person ends up encountering one way or another, whether you're dealing with the social construct, somebody that knows somebody or whatever. When I say everybody is out hustling, and they don't care about what it will do to a person, another, as long as it takes care of them. And many of the people, because I'll say something, that's why I'm not liked, their answer is, well, they should know better. Why would you, example, sell that to a person, or suggest that to a person, and that that's not good for them, or whatever the case may be? And the person that is the entrepreneur, that is executing the entrepreneurial spirit, and they out there making it happen for themselves, they'll say over and over again, same thing I hear all the time. People don't like me because I ask. It's like they should know better. They should think for themselves. They should research for themselves. But all they do, and I've even heard it on here, is all they do is they want the next best thing, and I'm gonna be the one to give it to them. The next best, like weight loss. I seen this thing on, I think it was here on YouTube, where they got this thing that you put on your stomach, vibrate the fat off. And I was looking at the commercial, and I was like, no, they didn't. And I was like, no, they didn't. I remember that same concept being expressed when I was a little girl. And it was during my mom's generation, when my mom was probably like 40 or something. Yeah, 40, between 45 and 50. They had this belt that you buy, and it was a broad belt, like a person as a boxer, that heavyweight belt. It was built like that, and it was shake the fat off. That's what I promise. Everybody hustling. Actually, it was damaging people inside. Or I'll tell you another thing about weight loss. Me and my old best friends, they ain't my friend no more. I'm an asshole. Anywho, everybody was interested in losing weight. I've always been thick. Even when I was hundreds of pounds smaller, I still look fat in comparison to zeros and tens, and I still look fat, so it didn't matter. Anyway, everybody interested in losing them some weight. And in my area, I don't know about y'all's, it was these weight loss clinics you could go to, and you could pay them your money, and they gave you a vitamin E shot or D shot and some diet pills. So people don't care what they do. Now, mind you, the person or the clinic that we're going to that's popular in the hood, it's a doctor there writing this prescription, handing it out to people, and administering these vitamin E shots or D shots, whatever, proposed to promote weight loss. So I go hanging with the crew. Everybody want to lose some weight. In my mind, I was like, I don't know about this, but I ain't saying nothing because I always end up being an outcast. So I'm like, I'm going. This is where the crew going. I'm going. I go over on to the clinic with them, and this happened several times in my life with different social groups, small Gemini, third house astrology, social groups, different social groups. So I go over there, and I remember the doctor, they tell you what they about to do and stuff. Everybody excited. I'm like, oh, okay. They give everybody this vitamin D shot. I took that shot. I was like, I ain't taking this shit no more. I don't know what's in there. I'm paranoid, even back then. And then they give us this medication. And so I'm like, I'm not taking this medication. So everybody taking a medication and that, start losing weight and everything. They all excited. Nancy, are you taking your medication? I'm still sitting over there eating my hot dogs. Eat my chicken, my hot dog. Go ahead, y'all. You ain't gonna take them. You done went over there and gave your money. Y'all can have them. Give them because I think you had to go back like every month or something to get the medicine or something. So I eat my piece of my hot dog, and they all thin and out and everything. I'm just Nancy. And hot dang, but it was something in me at the time, and I wasn't as conscious, especially about authority figures misusing their power. I wasn't conscious about that at all. Never thought about an authority figure misusing their power, even though I had encountered authority figures that overstep boundaries, but I never thought about it. Wasn't conscious of it. So again, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I irritated everybody. I'm going in the opposite direction than the third house crew of the same or similar mindsets and activities and stuff. So time passes. Like I said, it takes a long time. It takes a long time for the truth to be revealed. And it took quite a while for the truth to be revealed. And what the truth was, relative to that story I just shared, is that all of them people came up, all of those prior friends of mine came up with medical issues that were directly or are directly tied back into that time period in which they were taking that weight loss medication. Everything from diabetes to heart problems. That was a major one. Heart problems, diabetes, heart problems. What else they end up really getting? It was something else. But it was something else. Thyroid issues, heart problems. I think the heart problem was the main one. And so when they started getting sick some years later, like say they did it about 3-4 years, maybe 5 years later, they started getting sick. We still fairly young, like in our 30s and stuff, mid-30s. And I'm the only one that wasn't getting sick. Only one. Blood pressure not going up. And why are you not getting sick? Nancy, I ain't trying, not going to wood at. Yeah. Holding on. Keep the tape and the glue. But it take a long time for the truth to be real. That's one of the reasons I'm telling this story. It took a long time, no matter what I told them at that time. They couldn't see what I was talking about. They didn't care. They didn't care. They just wanted to lose weight. Oh, it's a doctor. Okay, something wrong with this shit. Excuse me, I didn't make it. Come on with it. And when they got sick, they literally was having these emergency scenarios play out in their life, or sometimes their lives was hanging in the balance from that period. That was crazy to me. That was crazy. Or when marijuana hit the scene and everybody was smoking, I told you I hit a blunt, threw me back in the wall, broke the wall, left my imprint on the wall. Like, shit, fuck that shit. Excuse my language. I ain't make it. And some of the people that I knew back then, maybe it's a combination of things, some of them still doing what they do, and others had heart attacks, and different stuff like that. It's just not how I'm talking about how it takes so long for the truth to be revealed about what really is the truth, and the truth about that weight loss clinic and the services it offered. It was detrimental to people's health, to the client's health, but there was nobody really there regulating them. Now that's the truth. But it was too late. By then, my prior friends were sick, and they doing better now, for different reasons. But I'm just talking about that. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. That's that old people stuff. I got to do something. I got to King Cobra it or something to strengthen my what you call me? It's is your kid's dad alive? Oh yeah, he alive. You never speak to him because we don't get along. He called me. We're talking about my kid's father. He might be watching. Back to food. That's that damn thing. Uh-oh. Wait a minute, y'all. Like that's that damn Nancy acting a fool. Self-righteous. Look, I'm trying to get cute. It don't work, huh? Hold on. If you're on here, baby daddy, don't look. Hold on. His baby daddy, see. He be on here. They all be on here stalking me. Every time I go live, they call and stuff. They know they didn't like me when they had me. So don't talk to me now. Don't try to talk dirty to me now. But he was a nice guy. My kid's father was a really nice guy. Pisces. I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Pisces. He was a sweet guy. He just didn't like me. I was too self-righteous. I was a nagger. I wouldn't pay like I weigh. I wouldn't do that. I don't share. I'm violent. I tell you, I'll break the windows out your car. See, I know that about myself now. I didn't know that in my 20s. When I would, knock out a window, I didn't know that I would do that. I could have played the insanity case. But he was a really great guy. He was an excellent provider when he wanted to. Another person that's lost in materialism. This is one of the differences many times when what helps me interpret the cards and different things like that is to be able to be truthful with myself about the things that I experienced. And so I'm not just judgmental of everything outside of myself. I'm very judgmental of myself. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. How people can't self-correct. And I mean, I'd have been through it. I talk about some stuff. I done been through it, but I do feel like I self-corrected. And when I was talking about and complaining about the people in my immediate environment, that's the aspect that seems like it's missing, even from my own children, about correcting your course, correcting your behavior and different things like that as a direct result of your life experiences. I'm going to come back to my baby daddy. He gonna be there anyway. And I want to talk about this experience I had. TMI, help me explain stuff. This one time, I got a lot of them, but some reason this particular scenario that played out in my life been on my mind. And it's about every time I could have died from gunfire. That's what's been on my mind. And I think that's why I'm so paranoid from all the shooting. Maybe I'm suffering PTSD. Because in the course of my life, I tried to be a hot girl, and I told y'all I couldn't. I just didn't resonate with it well. I couldn't be a part of the group thinking. I just couldn't. And so, but during the times that I was trying, I'm frequenting the hot spots because that's what hot people do. They know you got to play your role. And so I'm trying to get into my role. This was when I was younger. But what I'm about to talk about now has to do with my whole, coming of age from, I wasn't too fast. So we're going to say from 18 up until when the last time somebody tried to shoot me a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And every time, a gun was pulled on me and say, hello, baby daddy, don't look. He know about the magic brush. And I'll take it off too anywhere. That was another thing. I embarrass you real quick. This is long. Now I'm old. Now I'm starting to get that natural heat, But even before that, we could be somewhere and I could be just as fly and cute and flawless. And he turn around and anybody, I've been with, turn around and be like, what happened to your hair, your teeth, your eyes, your eyelash? We be at the beach. Cute people don't go on the beach. Black women don't get their hair wet, except for Nancy. Nancy go in that water, been made up, come out, look like a booger bed on them. They be like, oh, Lord, you messing up. The crew. Everybody in competition, you messing with the crew. You misrepresent. So now, back to when I was, coming up. And lately, for some reason, my mind keeps going back to the scene over and over and over again. And because it goes back to the scene I'm going to talk about, it also has me looking at how many times I could have been killed by gunfire. The first time I remember, Um, um, well, the first time I could have possibly been hit and killed by gunfire is, I think, when I was in high school, and it wasn't for me. But I used to take the bus from my home to the high school I went to, and I was sent to the high school for security reasons. I didn't hurt. But anyway, one day I'm on the bus. The bus would pull up. It was scheduled to pull up in front of our school, just a public bus, when the kids got out to help expedite getting the kids away from school. And the bus pulls up. I get on the bus. Me and my friend get on the bus. This is the day we left out of school just a little bit early to get ahead of the rush. Because if you was in the rush or behind it, oh no. And so we get on the bus. We all excited. We done got on the bus, and everybody ain't made it out to school yet. And hot dang, this guy come up on the bus. And I went to one supposed to be the popular kids school with the privileged kids. You know, these were the kids. I went in the district where everybody family, you know, worked for the big three or was nurse or something. So this is supposed to be the more upscale school in the deep. So, you know, you're supposed to be more safe and stuff because these kids are a little bit more privileged. So we was on this bus. Just got on it, me and my girlfriends. We on the bus, we about to go home. Bus driver bullshit. Waiting, we like, gone before they come running up out of here. He sat there. All of a sudden, the car pulled up in front of the bus. The person jump out. Think the person jumping out to hurry up to get on the bus. No, the person had spotted somebody, I guess they had beef with, on the bus. I'm sitting here, the person sitting there. The person got on the bus, walked past the bus driver, pow, pow. I'm sitting right there, killed that nigga. You know, so it might have been something else before that. Now, that was indirect. That wasn't toward me, but I still was right there, like almost just outside of the line of fire. And so let me talk about another time I'm hanging with the crew. We out at the hot spot at that time, and we doing our flossing thing. And somebody get into it again. This time it's not directly for me either, but I just remember bullets everywhere in this bar, everywhere. And I'm standing right there near the persons that they're shooting at. You know, they having a shooter. I'm like, oh my God, you know, okay. But what keeps coming up in my mind, and I'm trying to figure out why this event keeps coming back up in my head. I don't know. It got to be all this gunfire that I'm hearing now. Is one day, again, I'm part of the hot crew. We down at the hot spots because you gotta be known. So I'm out the car. Remember, I've never felt like a part. So when we get out of the car, headed to this bar in downtown Detroit, this was years ago, I'm walking and I talk to myself. So I'm talking to myself. I'm probably talking to whoever I'm with, but I'm just talking. I'm smoking. Back then, I might have been drinking or smoking or something. Nothing made them right fucked up. But anyway, I'm walking to everybody I'm with walking behind me. I'm walking, and it's this guy and this young lady that come out the bar, and he got his arm around it. So, you know, it's like a nice summer evening, and they look like they romancing out on town having a good time. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just turned around, and the gun is pointed dead in my face. But I don't think he knew I was behind him. I might have been about 10, 12 feet away from him. But so he just turned around. So obviously he was shooting back at the bar or something. But he turned around. I'm right there. But at the same time he turned around, he letting it off. So he can't stop. He already in motion. And I just stood there. That's all I could do. I'm like, what the fuck? It was, ooh, didn't make it. And so the gunfire, but I guess his arm, you know, coming back. I was like, ooh, I could have been killed right there. I was like, wow. That was crazy. And that scene right there is just now playing over and over and over in my head. Why am I sharing that story that keeps coming back over and over in my head recently? And then it's leading me to what? Think about all the times I could have died or been injured by gunfire, which I can list them off. List them off. Up to 2 years ago when I was down at the races where I shouldn't have been because I'm too old. Well, I ain't know my peers still hang down there. They ones that got the real hot cars and stuff. But I'm sitting there. I know I'm not liked. And something happens. And the people I'm with say, come on, Nancy, let's go. But I done took a tote. I'm sitting there talking to the local natives, running my mouth, friendly ass Aquarius, ain't paying attention. Nancy, let's go. So I'm like, okay, I'm taking my time. I'm thinking we just leaving. I ain't know we were supposed to be leaving. You're getting them gone. Next thing I know, by the time I pulled the car down, hit the street, it's a car behind us. Tat, tat, tat. And I'm looking like, what the fuck going on? Because I took a tote. Look back, all I see is blue flames headed directly towards us. I hear bullets. I mean, they chased us for at least a quarter of a mile out of the, condensed population of those of the Rough Riders. I'm like, what didn't happen now? I'm like, I'm still thinking it was a hit on me. I think it was a hit on me. I think it was. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. They said it wasn't, but I'm telling you, yes, it was. Yes, it was. First try to kill me. They'll chase you for about a quarter of a mile, at least. Right? A little more than that if they ain't after you. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, I'll talk about that because these different, like when that last time, I was like, now you know better, Nancy. You'd have had, you know better, Nancy. You'd have had all of this life experience that you survived. And you have adjusted yourself accordingly. You adjusted yourself accordingly. Like going to bars and things like that. That's a far view. Go with a particular breed of people at a particular time. And have a particular place you're going to sit. If you gonna go, you're going to be prepared. But yet, I got caught slipping in that moment of just needing to get out and socialize. You know what I'm saying? But my point of sharing the story is how over the course of my life, depending on what I experienced, I adjusted myself accordingly, and I'm still here. Health fairly okay. Physically okay. Mentally, I might not be, but I'm here. But I'm looking at what's in close proximity to me now, and I'm like, I'm not seeing nobody learn. Nobody learn. I'm hearing about people again on that page, Detroit Scanner, hearing about it. I live right off the main avenue. Every summer is like going crazy. Like people going crazy. Nobody's self-regulate themselves. Nobody's learning from life. And it's sad. It is sad. And I feel like that even about my own children. They're not learning, or you're learning too slow. You're learning too slow. And there are so many different examples that I could literally offer you about what I'm witnessing for myself. Like, how can you not, if you stand here, any given person, you standing somewhere and a person come, gun a person down or rob them for some Jordans or Cartiers, what could you take from that? Number one, you got to question where you at. Next thing is, are those material goods? You realize, that person get killed for that material. Is that material good important enough for you to spend your money that you probably really can't afford? You just treating yourself and being good to yourself one life. But you don't say, well, I can wear something more that ain't on the top hot 10, that a person will take me out for. Or, arguing with people, people not having enough humility to say, okay, I'm not going to argue with you, just walk away. It's not fear. It is not fear. It's just trying to stop things from going to where they do go. You know what I'm saying? They do go. It's like you can just walk away. But people's ego is so big that they can't take an L. Take an L. Walk away. Don't make you or break you. Okay? I mean, that's all I'm seeing. It's like insane. And the hustle on anything. I don't care people hustling on a pair of socks. They hustling. Nobody have no integrity. They don't care. And I'm not just talking about, I know I live in the D, so people might probably go to drugs. Yeah, drugs too. That's been going on. People never care. But I mean about nothing. Stores selling messed up meat and I mean, it's just everywhere. It's like, what's going on here? Like like I was saying, I went to the gas station. I told y'all about the glass pipes and how I knew. I say, hey, something about to come through here. I ended up hearing somebody say that too. After I talked about it here, I was out somewhere. I heard somebody say they about to flood, put something in here, in the inner city, out here. I told y'all about the story when I was in middle school, early middle school, how me and my best friend used to walk up to the gas station, and the first time I seen crack pipes and weed clips, and I didn't know what they were. I used to say, we're gonna get this one, this piece of blown glass, and this one, and shortly after, that's when the crack era swept through. And I told you I just went up there to my local gas station in the last couple of weeks, and they had them new blown glass pipes. I'm sure people think they promote them for weed and stuff, but I don't think so. I'm not talking about bones. About them crack pipes. I know but don't make me cuss. Don't make me cuss. And so people are, I'm gonna say, like, even the people that owns the gas station aren't conscious. How are we ascending? How are we ascending? And we can't do no better. They shouldn't even put certain things in these stores. You know what I'm saying? Make them hard to come by. But no, they about to send something through here. They're about to send something through here. And so I was talking to my kids about it. But who knows? I talk to my kids and anybody I meet, anybody I know. That's when people don't like me, because I'll be talking about some stuff off in some conspiracy stuff, just old folk lame stuff. Like, hey, y'all out here smoking all this weed, and everybody out here just trying to make money. I said, and these people growing this stuff and probably sprinkling all kind of stuff on it. I know that's old people stuff. But even if it's just the marijuana, at the quantities that people are indulging in it is abnormal. Because I mean, I have a point of reference. That's why I be talking so much, especially like with kids stuff. I have a point of reference. I remember big plates of weed and little papers and having a little joint rolled up, parsley smoke. That was my generation, my siblings, generation. I remember that. And then I remember when them big ass blunts came in. I think it was the Jamaicans or what they call them, Rasta or something, in about 1991. I remember when that happened. And I used to hang at the Jamaican clubs too. I remember that. And I'm constantly telling my kids, that's too much. Too much of anything is detrimental to you. And then over time, that time is a mother sucker. We live in it here and now and cannot see or perceive what is in front of us. Can't see or perceive what is in front of us. That's some deep stuff. That's some deep stuff. I'm supposed to be talking about love. I done made this a whole Aquarius rant. Forgive me. I guess I just need to get the baby daddy. The baby daddy. Gotta talk about that baby daddy. I'm starting to feel like you're in hell. I've shared that feeling. Narcissists have a way of bringing on that feeling. Is that who made it happen? Who compelled me into being in hell? Even though I told y'all I went to hell before, so I know how that feel. And last night I was like, Nancy, stop saying you feel like you in hell. It's just this inability to resolve anything that is frustrating. But I done been to hell, and this ain't like hell. Oh my God, nothing like hell. But this inability to resolve anything is like, it's just a saying that nobody can see. When I say can't nobody see they wrong. I made a video called Judgment. Narcissist government mayors love to create a nigga reality. I'm gonna show that. I guess let noodles not what's the other one? Oh yeah, that's the good one. Okay. I'm gonna put it on there. YouTube gotta do what this gonna do because they won't do it. Say people that self-correct, self-reflect. Yeah, and it's no moment of reflection at all. None. And get that there's a bigger picture. I think the demons and people prefer the off-balance feeling and resent the self-correct feeling. Oh, I think so. That's good. That's a good statement. That's a good statement. Yeah, they do. I can agree with that 100%. What am I agreeing with y'all that I'm freaking out about? Yanni shares that those that are possessed by demons, they prefer to just like allow the demon to control them than to have to deal with the self-reflection. It's like it's repulsive to them. It's like in the movie Exorcist, when the priest said, the spirit of Christ compels you, and the demon like, Reagan. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So self-correction is like that. And I've been there, so I understand. I'm human. I'd have been, oh man, I'd have had a gambling problem before some years ago, and I'm talking to myself, trying to will myself out of it, yeah. But if somebody said something to me and I wanted to go, I was dangerous, man. I told you I was thinking about sticking people up. The fun mouth, gambling habit, what? Don't tell me nothing. Or, I mean, what haven't I done? I haven't done a lot of, I haven't done no real drugs unless they was prescribed. But I'm saying, when I want to use the right terminology, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Not the wrong idea. I don't want to exaggerate my experiences. And so I have partaken in different unrighteous, what can be deemed unrighteous activities. And I know when the divine or one's higher self comes to try to reproof them, namely me, or try to correct me, and it came in different forms. And I done went through the phase where I was like, no, you don't. Like money. I told y'all about that spirit. Remember, I just did it like 2019. It was either October, no, probably November, October, November 2019 or something like that. And I did an Aquarius rant, and I talked about my childhood imaginary friend coming. I said, oh, that mean money, money and love. But I talked about the spirit that was attached to that money, and it's falling in love with the freedom that money gives you, with the power that money gives you. When I say power, I'm talking about to buy what you want without having to ask how much something costs. And money allow you to be able to look the way you want to look, flawlessly, to eat where you want to eat, to indulge in what you want to indulge in. But it's a spirit, and that spirit can be becoming pompous and arrogant and nasty and narcissistic and belittling people and selfish and self-centered, and then if the financing, the streams of income or revenue don't continue to come in and sustain that ego that developed as direct result of having money or prosperity in your life, if it's not holding it up, then what will you do to help stimulate the flow of income or revenue into your life, so they can do what? Uphold the ego. So I done went through that, and I told you I was like, Lord, I'm gonna do something wrong. I went and talked to the Lord, but I'm like, I know what I was feeling like the Exorcist, like, what you gonna do, Nancy? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And that's, I think, one gift I have, obviously, that some people don't have, is I can, I can stay calm long enough. I can like think my way through it. Maybe that's because I'm an air sign. I could think my way through. So like, it's like, okay, if I go jack this or do this, then it's a option. I mean, not opposite, possibility. If I make this, the cause and effect. If I do this, I could cause this effect. Because you never know what you're going to get. Depends on how the devil playing with you. The angels got your back or the devil got you. Like, you do this, Nancy, are you willing to pay that penalty if it comes to being? So I see that some people don't have that. Or they'll change. They can't. Like, I'm an example. When you're young, when you're in school, I'm talking about preschool and stuff like that. One of the lessons they offer a youngster is the picture frames, and the picture frames of a sequence event that requires to be put in sequence is rearranged. And as a kid, you are instructed. Oh, shoot. I forgot I had some little eye makeup on for y'all. I forget. See, that's why I can't. I can't stay in character. I don't know how to look. Y'all tell me. You put this. You have to put the sequence in the correct order to tell the logical story. An example is scene with an apple on a table, and then a kid walking, and then a kid eating an apple, and then a kid peeling the apple. Which order does it go in? Is the apple on the table first, and then the kid walks along down the road, sees the apple, picks it up, then peels it, then eat it? A lot of people, y'all, cannot do that. They can't put things in chronological order, or logical order. And this is for real. So in a real life, they don't have the technique or the skill in order to execute forethought. You gotta, in order to be able to have forethought, you have to be able to do that. And now those were just the blocks that were offered in my example, up to the kid peeling the apple and eating it. But with forethought, you can run that forward, and say, okay, well, the next scene would be the kid without the apple. The apple's gone. The next scene has the kid throwing the cork on the ground. Something has to be done with the cork. Either the cork going on the ground, and the garbage is going somewhere. The animal going to eat it, going to throw it in the pie. But I'm saying it's a sequence of events, all the probabilities that could come into being, so you can see what the potential results will be as a direct result of your current action. People can't see that. And then when they do get in trouble, they cry, whine, ask you to help them. All kind of stuff. Oh, you should see how the demons work in people and leave people hanging. They real soul, they ain't conscious because it's buried under the influence of the ego or something. And that ego abandoned them. Y'all ever seen that? Y'all ever seen? It's pitiful. It is pitiful. It's pitiful. See, that's crazy, and that's scary that a lot of people don't have that. It's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Baby daddy, just jumping everywhere. This has turned to an Aquarius rant. So anyway, it frees me up to do another live tomorrow, and I'm gonna make that live about love. I am. So I'm gonna have to change the title of this live to just another Aquarius rant. Just because. But that baby daddy, let me tell you about that Pisces. Sneaky, quiet, cunning, sexy. But yeah, that baby daddy was something special. The experiences that I've had. And that was a hard thing to let go of somebody that you love. So I did want to talk about love. Hard to let somebody go that you really do love, even though it becomes so toxic. And let me tell you how everybody relationship gets to a level of toxicity through different avenues. But the one thing is that you don't let go when it gets toxic. For me, it was because, like the way I talk on here, same way I've talked when I did talk when I was younger. I didn't talk a lot. We were both fairly quiet. But when I did talk, I talked like this. Now, he is a person who is lost, Pisces. He's lost in the group, in the small social network. Come from a big unit of very small social networks that network and do what they do. And he's lost in that, meaning he shares. It almost seems like it's not voluntary. It's a soul thing. I never looked at his chart or anything, but it's a soul thing. He's lost in it. So what they do, he does. He plays his part. It's not that he's a follower. He plays his part. He can't separate himself from the small social group. A very vital figure in the functioning of what they networking on, that purpose, their mission. It's the ideology, it's the mindset. Like I said, he name brand, everything. excessively indulgent as far as, you know, clothes and cars, and I'm just basic. Jay, I probably could live on the farm if I had been, my mom hadn't been a city girl. So you got this inner city black girl that kind of probably more farm life would have been more suitable for me. I was like, oh, see, I was hearing a song in my head. Well, this is the city slicker, Joker. And we got to the toxic place because I didn't share. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't just him. I couldn't share in the group or the mindset or the ideologies and the practices and that which they participated in and upheld. I couldn't. You know, I wanted to. I tried. I wanted to because I wanted to belong. I wanted to be popular. Now you want to be popular. That's what it called for. That lifestyle called for me to be popular. It called for me to be risky. It called for those kind of things. I just wasn't. I just wasn't and couldn't be. And so I, out of everybody, was always, when I say no matter what, so I was always the outsider. You hear people on here talk about how they never belong. You know, you one of the special ones, the chosen one. I was there, but I wasn't. I was always alone. And so it got toxic because I never fit. They would wear the stuff that a person will knock you off for. And they'll knock you off for your stuff if they want to. You know what I'm saying? Me, I tell y'all about the Rockports. I had Rockports. That's what I wore, Rockports. And if not Rockports, I was at Payless. I couldn't stay in character to save my life. I could not do it. They would, and I say they, I'm just talking about the various members of the various small social circles that I frequent in the course of my life. They would spend major cash on material goods. I told you one time in the video I made called Saturn, Godfather Saturn Got You Hemmed Up. I think it was. Come find out what you're dealing with. And I made another one. Oh God, I can't remember, but I was talking about Saturn as your ruler, ruling planet, and come find out what you're dealing with. And I talked about how me and my best friend, at one time, this was in the last 10, 15 years, lost that friend too. But we would go shopping and we would go to Target, or anywhere, it didn't matter. Go to Macy's or wherever. Nancy disappears. Nancy disappears. She said one day, where you be disappeared? Where you be going? I drive people crazy. Where you be going? I'd be like, when we go, it was started in Target, y'all. This situation, scenario started in Target one day. Where did you disappear to, Nancy? Because she called me on my phone. I said, I'm over here. I was like, come on, tell her where I am. She come over there. She said, why did you just disappear? I can't take you to Target. I can't take you nowhere, especially in Target. That's what had frustrated her so. And I was like, well, I noticed in Target, when you come in, all the red tag sales are along the side of the aisle. I said, so as soon as we come in, I don't look nowhere else. I walk outside the perimeter of the store all the way around before I'm willing to go up and down in the aisle. And she's like, oh my God. She was so angry at me. Oh my gosh, she was spitting fire. I ain't say she could spit fire. She was spitting fire. She was mad. And I always did that. And so, but this day, so she called me on the phone. I said, well, I'd have made my lap around the store. And I guess she was walking, looking for me, couldn't find me. So she ended up calling the phone. I'm over in the linen and towel section. And so we on the phone. I'm telling you, hey, I walk around the outside of the. I was like, oh, stop fussing. I'm over here in the, towel section, whatever, whatnot. So she come on over there and she's cussing. She mad. She spent fire. I'm like, I ain't paying her no mind because guess what? All of they towels was clearance out. Honey, 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 honey. And so she see I ain't paying her no attention while she cussing and fussing. I'm about for taking my advice. She cussing and fussing, spit back. I'm ignoring her because I'm busy shopping. I got these 2 buggies full of stuff. I'm so excited. I got some of everything. I'm about to redecorate everything. And so after a while, she realizes I'm not listening to her at all. And so her head turned, and she's a shopinista, a fashionista that paid full price for everything. She don't ask no questions. Life don't require to. So anyway, she cussing and fussing. And so I'm looking at the shelf and I'm putting the stuff in my second basket. She saw her head slowly turns over to the shelf and she had to do a double take because everything clearance now. I'm talking everything 50% off, 70% off. I'm talking about the big thick towels, you know what I'm saying? The big thick ones. Like what? Something that costs normally we'll say $3 or $4. You know, they little hand face towels cost $5. It was clearance down to $1 or something like that. That what that about 75%? All right. That's some serious business, right? Okay. So when she looked and saw it wasn't the little thin cheap, it was the whole aisle was clearance out. And so she was like, start pulling stuff, and she a fashionista shopaholic. So she got all this stuff, she can't hold it. And so she's like, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Where'd she go? Get her 2 buckets. Now she got way more money than me. She coming there and now she all in the aisle, getting everything she could possibly get. Don't need nothing. She shop all the time. But my point is, people, I couldn't never stay in character. I learned from life. I couldn't stay in character anyway. I couldn't stay in character. But the same people, I'm talking about this because the same people that chastised me, not life, the people, would end up partaking in the same things I did. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if she would do it out in the open, you know, for people to see that she went and bought clearance stuff off the Target shelf. But they would end up doing the same thing as me. It doesn't. All this stuff I'm saying in reality don't make sense to me. Nobody is growing or self-governing. I'm just there all over the place. They just really full of themselves. Really full of themselves. I guess they just all. I'm not gonna mix videos. What time is it? Oh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I did not know that. I just been on here running my mouth. I guess I should ask y'all. Is y'all okay? Because I just been running my mouth. You say social engineering is a damn real agenda for genocide for many bloodlines. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I done seen so much stuff. You know, and when I look back in my life and I see the planned destruction of like the community I grew up in and the people. You know, when I was young, because I think way back, I didn't know what I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? Them drugs, when them drugs hit, I knew exactly what I was looking at. Because that was the craziest stuff to me that I think that might have been the first time I actually seen a spirit in a person. Well, I told y'all about that lady that came walking up to the porch, like, hey, can I use your phone? And I was real young. Well, I couldn't have been that young because I had to be in 84 or something like, no, because I went to high school. That was 80, that was 1980 or something. So I was about 10. I had to be about 10 because we used to stay out in the D. We could be out on the porch and stuff all night long. So we'd be like, woo-hoo. You know, we had to be at our house on the porch or in the house when the street lights went on. You know, you already knew that. So you'd be home. But in the summer when it was hot and stuff, be out on the porch with the TVs and the radio. The neighborhoods was full of people. It ain't like now, all blighted and lots and the houses gone, lots in every house in every lot. It was a full family in every house. You'd be like, who the hell? You know, and why what you watching? You know, that kind of thing. But after that woman came up there in the 80s, it had to be 80, had to be 80, 81. And that spirit that had her was animating her. Oh man. I told you the only time I ever seen that walk other than in reality was on Grand Theft Auto. They fiends, them little avatars. They mimic that quite accurately. You know, that was a hell of a spirit where they jerking and stuff like, oh man, yeah, that right there. And the moment I seen it, I knew something was wrong with that. Told you we never got to sit on the porch. Nobody ever got to sit out or lay on the porch after dark, and bars and everything went up. It was all kind of stuff. Narcissists stole natural law. Narcissists literally stole. They hijacked natural law. Ain't that something? In natural law, we could solve our own problems. Under natural law, you can solve your own problems, but they didn't distorted everything. The thing that I lean on uh, to help me solve problems is that I know natural law rules. No matter what, natural law is still in play. They have just deceived us and not be able to perceive or comprehend natural laws. But if you know what natural laws are, you can always go back to the basics to see your way through any scenario or situation or anything, you know, um, anything, you know. So I tell y'all, I might not be the best person. I might not be the crispiest cookie in the jar. I might not be the most beautiful, but I think I am like the greatest. I really do. And I don't mean that from an arrogant or narcissistic standpoint. I think I'm the greatest because you know, whatever's in me has invested in me, including my mom and any family members and anything that's ever invested in my well-being. You know, even though I let them down, in reality, I let them down. But I'm thankful because of them and it, both tangible and intangible, because I can see. So I'm thankful for it. It was a hard road. It wasn't a happy road. It wasn't always a happy road or an enjoyable road. Uh, but I can see. I can self chastise myself. I can I can redirect my course of action. I'm still, even though all the suffering that I may have gone through during the various phases of my life, I still can be compassionate. Even all the bad relationships, I only had a couple of bad relationships. They were long term, very bad. I invested a lot in them, even though they hurt. I mean, down on my soul, till I thought I would die. I still believe in love, and I know I can love. And I believe in hope. You know, and so all these things I do love about myself. I love that I can go access some of the bells and whistles in this world, and I can look like a model if I so choose to. But if I don't, I can't. I'm okay with walking out the door with me. I love me, you know, and I get joy. This is an issue. This is how the devil play. I'm human, so I do have times that I get worried, and if I worry long enough, it will settle into depression. Not like it used to be, but it does render its head every now and then, and that's the ugly part. That's the devil attack, you know, because the devil know I love me. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, like it doesn't. Something is ethereal. Something is intangible that does have some type of weird interest in me, and it wants me not to even love myself. It wants me to disrespect myself. I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by I want me to disrespect myself. The reality has manifested in our world, and it has to do with gender, and I'm focusing on the Black community, that the women outnumber the men. In the Bible, it prophesied that there would be a time that there will be about 7 men to 1 woman. I don't know if that's the actual racial, but we know women outnumber men, and for different reasons, and we outrank men for different reasons. As far as outranking them, usually we're more educated, you know, maybe because we're a little more humble and we're not rude or animated or compelled by our ego as extensively or to the extent that men are, you know, our peers. And so we may experience many times more success and acceptance in our social society. We know this. As far as there being literally, it seems to be more women than men. Well, talking about genocide and different things like that, the drugs, alcohol, the ego itself, compelling, or the male species, African American male species, allowing their egos to compel them into scenarios that render them incarcerated or deceased, you know. And so we have this racial, this disproportionate racial, is that it, of men and women. And so I talk about it. I talk about the spirit of beauty. I talk about the acceptable norms, the social acceptable norms. I am not a Cardi B, and I don't think even when I was younger, a little smaller, I still didn't display those type of characteristics or portray myself in that way, or you know, nothing like that. I just couldn't. It wasn't in my makeup. And so what am I talking about? Because I wasn't like that, because I'm not like that, or chose not to be like that, whatever the combination is. I'm just me, and I don't fit into those norms. Well, it's a real competitive market when it comes to dating and love and romance. And so most times I don't win in that type of race, you know, the race of relationships and things like that. And I understand why. Again, it's the socially acceptable norm. I don't fit it. And then, like I said, in the hot lane, you got roles to play. I wouldn't play none of the roles. I couldn't stay in character. So that got me out. Then I'm a big mouth, opinionated, judgmental, independent thinker that'll fight. So that got me out again. You know, so I've had to accept that maybe more of a challenging aspect of my life. Who knows? Who knew? You know, who knows? You know, never know what you're gonna get. And so I find what I'm talking about is how the devil always have a trick, a trick bag. So especially as I get older, I'm confronted with, oh, wow. I want to tell this tale, but I'm gonna let that tale go. About somebody else. I don't know directly, but I was gonna tell it in some context. But there are women out here, and I'm just focusing on my culture, that buy men. I have friends that say I buy men. Uh, I argue differently. Some of the women I've known, you don't give a man not one thing, not one red cent, nothing at all. You know, you barely give them your body. You don't do all that. You don't cook. You don't do nothing. Who was that one that said they got the bag and they have to do nothing and got married and like that? Well, I feel like if I'm in a committed relationship, when I feel like it, I will cook. When I'm in a committed relationship, I'll be seductive. Yeah, I know how to do what I do. You know, I'll do that. And they don't. They don't. And they win. That's what had me thinking, oh, like, maybe I should. But I cannot see being disrespectful to a man. Oh, please don't let me have to be disrespectful. I have been, but I don't want to be. Yeah. I want to be feminine, which you let me be. You know, that kind of thing. But for me, the answer is always no. Always no. So what am I talking about? What am I AQUARIUS ranting about now? Is that the devil has a trick bag. And so I don't know what tricks he may have for me in the future. I know the few tricks he's had for me in the past that just in the last maybe 10 years or so, the devil has tried to execute on me and was not successful. But I don't know. In another 10 years, if I get weak. Right now, I'm a little arrogant and narcissistic to fall for what tricks the devil got. Them jokers, real live jokers, I can see. I don't know, y'all. Pray for me. 10 years, let me stand strong. If I ain't got that magical mate, that what they call it, the soul mate, the magical mate, pray for me. I might get weak and, you know, start breaking them off some fears, paying for stuff or something. I don't know. I never know what you're going to do. You never know. So I ain't going to talk about it ahead of time. I don't know. Give me a young tenderoni, something like that. But so far, it's been okay. I'd have played the fool, but not like that. Not like that. But there are. My point is, there are women that cave. They cave, and they do pay. They pay with their emotions. They pay with their bodies. They pay with their hearts, and they pay with their finances, and get nothing in return. That's scary to me. That is so scary to me. Scary. I forgot what I was talking about. That's the old people stuff. Come on, soulmate. Well, I can't remember. I won't be able to see. I won't be able to know who you are. I want to see him. Be old. All right, can't barely see. Something got to happen. And so I really forgot what I was talking about, y'all. I was trying to get to a point, but it take me so long. I be being dramatic. You know, I got that Leo ascent stuff. So I be all dramatic and I be forgetting. Love is awesome. Kindness, sharing, and clarity. It's so nice. I don't understand why this world, in this life, the way we relate to each other can be so cruel and, just careless and reckless with each other. I don't understand it. I really don't. My insanity that I went through when I did go through it is because I didn't know people could be so cruel and thoughtless and different things like that. I've been naive. I tell y'all, I did not know that. When I understood, I was like, oh, I'm dealing with demons. Because only a demon would choose to be cruel, when they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? When you give a person a choice and they choose to be cruel, then you a mother sucking demon. Flat the fuck out. Okay. 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 And then I'm remove myself away from a person and they be cruel. What's they call it on here on this YouTube? When a person want to gaslight you, what else they call? What's that other thing? It's the narcissistic stuff where they'll tell everybody you doing something wrong and it be them, but you ain't effing with them. But they keep creating scenarios to try to engage you or involve you just to try to hurt you, but you ain't paying no attention. And then they go lie on you and everything. And then whenever you do cross their path, then they gaslight you like, I ain't said that, I ain't did that, playing crazy. Do you know what kind of demonic spirit you got to have to do that, to perpetuate that? That's a lot of energy. That's a whole lot of energy. When all you got to do is just walk away. What keeps a person from walking away? Go on and live your best life. You ain't got to lie, cheat, manipulate. You ain't got to send a rose. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to stunt. Just walk away. Come on. But, okay. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. You say war steals men again. The narcissist steals the men. They steal them all. That narcissist getting it, ain't they? Keeping life simple, trick bags, harder to seduce us. Harder to now, at least after all this time, but hell, I'm a half a century old. Took me long enough. Took me long enough, and I don't want none of it. I really don't want any of it. When I say any of it, I mean, again, I don't understand why. Why is life like the majority of it really negative? You gotta think about this ram, like it's negative. It's just really negative. Like, what the heck? Why do you choose to do what you do? What, like, a popular story, trending story now, I think it came out of New York, young woman going to local liquor store or something. Some men try to hit her on her. She said, no, thank you. I'm gonna get fudged up as much as I say no thank you. And they say they try to eat her eye out, bit her or something. Who does that? Please tell me who does that. Then we going through this whole Viet thing that I think is man-made. Most people do. Who does that? Then they try to promote the vax to literally manipulate the DNA, and I ain't just regurgitating. I did some of my research, some. I could go further. Of course, there's no end to it. questions never fully answered. But I can go into it anymore. But my preliminary research, the couple of days I spent on it, showed, yeah, that's what they're doing. And what is y'all doing? Who does that? You know, who does that? We have a system that unjustly locks people up or lets people off for committing crimes that are civilians because that's what they wanted to do. They felt like it was their right. Who does that? In which realm do they do that? You know, my kids get on my nerves, and I know not the extent which they go. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm ready for anything and anybody. But talking about the whole population where kids doing their parents in. I just heard something about a kid doing a parent in last week or something like that. Who does that? In which reign? You know what I'm saying? Why is it always ego? We have priests supposed to be men of God messing with children. Who does that? And in which reign? You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of things I'm saying. When I look at it, like the doctors treating people for cancer that ain't got cancer. Who does that? And in which reign? You know, name. I mean, just keep on going. The food. I mean, just everything in the air. And what we do to each other. The husband's cheating on the wife. Why don't you just get up and go? Pay your alimony and go on bye-bye. And let me live my best life. Let me go get my Rico. You know, go on, go on. You know what I'm saying? But you rather kill me. Oh, you don't want to give me that alimony for that child. Oh, you kill. They can't go to it. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. Who? I can't say some words, but who does that? A young man take a young woman out, take advantage of the young woman, or vice versa. Who does that? And what realm do you do that? That's the only option you have. That's the only that's the only option you got. That's it. I mean, make it make sense. The only way that one race can stay or try to make themselves stay in superiority to another or others is to lynch them, kill them, run them down, you know, grind them up, eat them crocodiles, whatever you're going to do, you do all that. Who does that? And in which reign? That's why I say, are we in hell? But then I answered from my experience, no, I've been hell. This is not quite hell, but it can't be too far removed from hell. That's the part of y'all I don't talk to y'all about. We got to be in one of the higher realms of hell. Higher realms of hell. When you hear about the vibration of this physical realm and how it has slowed down to create solid forms, we have to be in one of the lower, the higher realms of hell, like coming out of it. Gotta be, because who does it? Everything from aborting kids. I ain't gonna say it, but you know, people do all kinds of stuff to kids. You know, or doing a K, because I'm kill K for now, K-ing people for, again, physical not resources, but that's a whole nother thing. That's killing people over material goods, things that bring you pleasure and enhance your life. Who does that? And in which realm? But now let's talk about the realm and the requirements, y'all. The requirement to stay in this realm, you got to eat and drink. And if you don't have the resources to buy into that eat and drink, then you will what? End up suffering from dehydration or malnutrition to the point you die. Not really long, but long enough, 3-4 weeks, slow down to your demise. So when you feel yourself getting close to that stage of dehydration, where it start hurting, or malnutrition, where it start hurting, you're going to make your move if you can. See them little African babies laying out there that they let die. Who does that? And in which realm? That the baby die of hunger and starvation and thirst. Who does that? You mean? Where are we? Where are we? But okay, as a grown person that's supposed to be capable, you know you got to make a move when you start feeling weak because you ain't got too much more energy. This realm requires you to make that move to eat and drink. Your compulsions in yourself, your urges and your instinct compel you to be the what? Was the survival of the fittest, to go out and make it happen by any means necessary. Now that's this RAM. Outside of any influence a man can put down, create here. That's this RAM. So it says something about this RAM too. It do. We can rise to our highest vibration. This is another truth about we can rise to the highest vibration to try to coexist on this planet. It's quite strange. When you pay attention, the realm is quite strange. Potential to experience somewhat of a utopia, but this realm is still dysfunctional, no matter what. So this is the real crazy part about humanity, is that collectively we can't see that this realm is dysfunctional. And if you understand that this realm is dysfunctional, and there are a million ways to die in this bitch, excuse my language, I didn't make it, we might be more prone to work together. We ain't got what people call kumbaya, but we better be hospitable to each other and figure out how to fend off whatever spirit exists here in this realm that requires you to eat and drink by any means. Ain't nothing we didn't played into or built up or created. That came with this realm and this reality. Something wrong with it. It's dysfunctional. It itself seems kind of demonic. This is a realm of the selfish. When you think about it, it's a realm of the selfish. Can you comprehend that? This is a realm of selfishness. Period. If there was only one crop of food, one land, an acre of land of food, people would fight for that acre of food, knowing that once that acre of food gone, they're gonna go too. But they will take everybody out, whoever survival of the fittest, to get that acre of land so that they can eat and sustain themselves just a little bit longer. 3 weeks longer, 6 weeks, 6 months longer, a year longer. And then they too gonna perish. We'll do anything for it. That's some deep stuff. That's some deep stuff about this here realm. For real though. Real. And the best we can do is to try to figure out a way to hold off the million ways to die. That's the best we could do. And I think humanity at one time was working toward doing just that. And we did so through advancing in science, engineering, and technology, and all that medical stuff and everything. But men got greedy. They got real greedy. Just like in that movie, was it Out of Time with Justin Timberlake? Out of Time or something like that. Where that one man owned infinite time or something, where everybody else running around with time clocks on their arm just to late mama died in his arm because she run out of time. He trying to meet her to give her an hour or two to live. Okay. Who does that? I want to meet this maker or sustainer or manager of this realm. Who the hell is you? Because that's a crazy MNFer. I'm not gonna cuss y'all, but that's a crazy MNFer. Who I'm calling a crazy MNFer? Whoever created this realm, crazy as hell. You better know that. You better know that. It's like nothing is worth losing your soul or participating in another soul's loss. No, I can't see it. But then again, as we say ain't nothing. But this realm, I do believe has the potential to push the human species, or not even just the human species, that which is a creature or being a beast. I'm sure we are considered beasts in the eyes of what created us. Just like the lion, the tiger, and bear, oh my, we talking about humans through the beast. That this realm, we just ain't seen it in our time period. But this realm has the potential to push the beast to lose its soul because of its selfish nature. I ain't say egotistical desires. Outside of that, that's something we cultivate over time. I'm talking about your needs. in its physical form. It'll push you to lose your soul in order to satisfy or try to pacify, because we can't satisfy this physical vessel, but to try to pacify it only for one more moment. So, you know, I think, I really believe that because humanity can't see that we have to, in order to get the best we can get out of this realm at any given time period, we have to collaborate. We have to be cordial, and we have to make these discoveries to, you know, enhance our life and our longevity. If we fail to do that, I think that is the next possibility that is at hand for humanity, and we can't see it. And that next thing is to what? Keep depleting the world's population in this race for survival that is, what's the word, where something don't make sense? It's in vain, because all will die. We'll be consumed one way or another. That's why I think we're headed. That's where I think humanity is headed. No, unfortunately, not. And I think that it is the creator of this realm gives us an option. Like, okay, you can make the best of it, but if you don't, then I'm gonna consume everything. See, our time is not its time. I know that our time is not its time. So our little bit of time is nothing in comparison to something that's one of them eons, probably. What they spell AEONS, one of them eons. Eons of time. Millenniums of time. I'll consume you. I'm going to consume you. I'm consuming you slowly. The only way you can slow me down, not me, the entity that runs this world, from consuming you, is if y'all collaborate. Then that, like, stalls me. But eventually, because of who you are and your nature, y'all got a selfish nature. Eventually, y'all gonna go against each other, and it's gonna be back on, and I'll consume each and every one of you. And each and every one of y'all ain't gonna be able to see that I'm gonna consume every morsel of you. Why? Because y'all can't see into the future. Because you can't control yourself, your nature, generation after generation after generation. Oh, y'all, don't ever let me get on this channel and tell y'all what I really see. That's gonna be the day I got to have me a nice sip in this sip and been and really sipped. Then y'all be up off of here like she crazy. Where was I? Nancy is all narcissism at the root. 3 people in the world: narcissists, demons, codependents, low self-esteem, and empaths. The sexy problem solver. The empath is a sexy problem solver. That's it. I accept that. But it seemed like narcissism is the problem of the antagonist. Always the antagonist. And then it's the narcissist that not narcissism. It's that ego. And I just got to go. I haven't taken the time to go into meditation and contemplation and ponderance on this entity that we all have embodied, which is the ego. Because I've talked about the ego. I know my works have led me to talk about the ego before, but I really looked at it from more of a worldly sense than a spiritual entity that cohabitates in all of us. It is also something that's required in this realm. And it is that in which I'm seeing that sin or unrighteousness enters. That is that which holds that. You know, and so I'm wondering what I have to, again, go and contemplate and ponder and get with myself on is, can we, I'm going to tell you how I see the ego. Like a beast, a spiritual beast that dwells within, so it's intangible or invisible, ghostly, whatever. And it can take control of your physical vessel, and it can do works in this world. Some people are prone to bigger or more exaggerated egos, and then there's no bar hold on what they will do or will not do. And so I think the mission is just a preliminary glimpse at the ego, is that we must harness this beast. Imagine that ego within us all needing shackles and chains for all of its existence. And it manifests in each of us that are born into this realm to a greater or lesser degree, but all of it is one beast that we're sharing. That beast must be harnessed and caged from big metal shackles and chains and everything. And not only that, the spirit or jolt that is you has been on to you to animate your vessel. That spirit, that is us. Mine, Nancy, my portion. Yours is whatever your portion is. Have to always manage that beast. Even if it's on a chain, it's very dangerous. Can break free. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stand there with a stun gun and all kind of stuff and keep it under control. And we got to make it do what we want to do. You know, so you can imagine it when it's on the chain, being abused and stunned. Okay, okay, okay. I'll do what you want. I'll do what you want. But if you blink an eye or turn your head, the beast will break out them shackles. Break them out. Break out on them. And then all the unrighteousness and the evil expands from that. And then imagine it get big, it get out of them chains, and your poor little wimpy old soul, oh my God. You know, it's going to put the chains on you. And it knows, because of what it is, not to ever turn its eye on your soul. You know, see, our souls is something different. I think it could be influenced anyway. But that consciousness of the ego itself, you remember certain things, different aspects of existence, whether the existence is tangible or intangible, exists. This form exists because it is a set of information, just like a rock is a set of information. That rock is made up of, I don't know, name some minerals. I don't know. I can't remember sandstone, or I can't remember what the different minerals are. You know, yeah, we pulverize and change to dust minerals and things, whatever. That's information. And when you start looking at it microscopically and things like that, then we start talking about the various components of the earth that came together to create it. Then we create formulas to define each one of them. That's what I'm saying about the consciousness of, like an example, the rock. You know, and it gets more and more complex the bigger the organism is. I think is what happens. Hell, I forgot what I was talking about again. God dang it. I guess I just needed to talk. Look. Okay, broad is the road that leads to destruction, and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only few find it. Sure enough, and that's exactly the way it seems. Oh my God, how can we be so blind? I don't want to be blind. I'll be like praying to God. You know, I pray to it too. Hell, I be praying to the devil. Don't mislead me. I just unattractive. I don't want to be unattractive. You know. Unattractive in the spirit. That's eternal. That writing I sound like Stephen King movie, The Sale. I ain't never seen that. It's called The Sale. I'm gonna have to look that one up. The fact world was set up to fail. That's the way it seems. We don't need most things. It offers like marriage. We are all in hell. Hell is offered here, but we have a choice. Betcha. Yeah, I think we do. I think we can make the best of this. And for whatever reason, this space and place exists. And I don't know. I want to say maybe we're in purgatory. I don't know. I've never thought of purgatory being so well defined as to achieve the utopia or the dystopia. I don't know. It's interesting to be in, to exist, to be in a place. This is a mind, cause a mind, your mind, a person mind and go left, but in a place we don't even know where we are, what it is, and the truth cannot be realized. I don't think it can be realized. Just experience. You say true. I see what they was doing to each other over toilet paper. Over toilet paper. Now who does that? Who does that? Who does? My grocery store has increased the price of toilet tissue so high. And my grocery store a couple of blocks away from me. I get mad. I'll go without it. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm TMI. I'll go without it. I'm not playing because y'all price gouging for some damn tissue. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that? You want to beat me over the head for some tissue? Come on now. Or a Christmas gift. What's the day after Thanksgiving? The day after Thanksgiving sale? Or you want stampede me for a cheap TV that probably don't work by the time you get who does that? And in which realm? Oh, wait a minute. Or abuse our old people. Oh man, even though some of the old people was demons too. But you just think they're so fragile and frail now, they can't do nothing but bad mouth you and curse you. You just throw it back on them. But you know, people abuse them. It's like, God dang, who does that? And in what realm? Yeah. True, I see what they okay. Please, LOA, they should separate by groups. Narcissist A. Okay, group A is the narcissist. Group B is the codependents. And group C is the empaths. Well, can you be a slash group, a BC? Because I'm a codependent empath. I don't know what side I'm going to be on from moment to moment. I really don't know. It just depends on how I feel when I wake up. We need to separate from the predators. I don't think we can get away from the predators. I think each of us, as good as we are both. I can have a predatory nature. Let me see how I'm a predator. They just damn weird. It's time to be. See, I don't like that. I don't like spending all my money on this stuff. I'm trying to put it in my head and I got to do something with it. Y'all see, I took them fingernails off. My hand, look, y'all. I'm so old, so I got the fingernails on. And I've always wore like decorative fingernails. I really like the decorative fingernails. I like them long. I told y'all when I cut them real ones off, I didn't wear them for a long time because they were very expensive to maintain. So anyway, the other day I had to put on the least stick-on nails. Young folk, if you watch it, you probably don't know what a least stick-on is. It's just a little fake plastic nail you just stick on. And I done dazzled them up, you know. And my hands start hurting, y'all, like arthritis or rheumatism. And I was like, oh, I couldn't, because the nails so long, you have to, it's a certain way. Like when you have really long fingernails, you have to use your hand like a claw, more or less. It never fully closes. It can't flex like that, you know. So you more like this, and everything that you do is a claw effect. And it's the tips of your fingers. So it's a technique. But man, my hands started hurting. I was like, I could claw. Oh, you should see me. I was like, if I can't do it, I never could stay in character. I still can't. I thought it'd get better when I was older. So my hand was hurting, but as soon as I could close my hand and ball my fist up, I was like, okay, I feel better now. I can't stay in character. I can't. I be trying. I'm too goofy. I'm too goofy to stay in some character. It said purgatory. Oh wow, maybe. I don't know. What's your goal for the gym? You know what? This is, it's gotten out of control. This, look. I don't know. You know what? I'm doing good. I think I'm doing fairly good. For me to have partaken in what I've partaken in my life of eating what I wanted to eat. For the most part, I've done what I wanted to do. When I wanted to be a vegetarian, I was a vegetarian. When I wanted to fast, I fast. When I wanted to eat what I wanted to eat, I ate it. At the time I was dedicated to whatever I was dedicated to, I did it. And so I'm just very thankful that, you know, I run into my peers and people I went to school with, and different stuff like that. People dropping off like flies, not just due to the vid, but they just dropping off like flies through the life choices and stuff. Um, and you know, I guess these as you advance in age, you start, especially if you haven't taken care of yourself, or if you have a what do we call genetic uh, pre um, you know, uh, you're genetically prone uh, to a deterioration in a part of the body or organ or something like that, or susceptible. It is triggered at certain ages. I'm so thankful, thankful, thankful. I don't know what I'm supposed to knock on superstitiously, but you know, uh, I'm doing pretty good. You know, especially in comparison to many of the people I'm seeing. And there are some fine fox and fox. I was looking at Angela Bassett, and who was it? It was some lady I was looking at. It was Angela Bassett, like even Cicely Tyson, who just left here, gorgeous. Got that money, take care of her. Take care of themselves. You know, really be good to themselves. But it just shows if you really take care of yourself, you can age gracefully. Like I said, one of my friends is a lady I used to work for. I call her Granny. Granny is 80. Granny look young, and she a real light-skinned woman. So, you know, if you let yourself get dark and you really like complected, it will show up, especially in your older age. Like, you can look at my face and see all the fights I had when I fought so much. I'm like, Oprah. Who was that? Oprah Winfrey. Should have was Oprah Winfrey in The Color Purple all my life. I had to fight. So, but it shows that she really took care of herself. Well, I'm talking about the lady I used to work for. My friend, call her Granny. Really is taking care of herself. Her skin is still flawless. You know, you can just tell, you know, I don't know, age has a spirit and just comes on. I don't know if it's the exposure that we had in life, but it's just a spirit that comes on. And she's got a bad shape. She's still shaped, you know, almost like she was when she was younger. When I look at it in her pictures, you know, small waist, wide hips, all that, you know, so she got it going on for any age. But it really shows. She eat the oatmeal with the berries. She eat all the oatmeal with the berries and the herbs and the flax seeds and all of that. And I used to, you know, when I'd be at her house, I'd be like, "Oh, Granny, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry." And she'd be like, "Well, go on in there and get you something to eat." I go in there, I ain't no damn flax seeds. She's like, "That's why you're fat. That's what I ain't seen." She's like, "I ain't never seen nobody walk as much as you do. But because you won't eat the flaxseed, that's why you're fat. Because you do walk and you got the exercise. You won't eat that flaxseed." But she looks really, really amazing. And I seen some other people that, ooh, shut your mouth now. And the truth of the matter is, you asked me about the gym. I don't want to, you know, I don't know how long. I don't think my family, based on history, have longevity. We don't have longevity biologically. But I don't know 100% because I had some drug addicts and some alcoholics, and that was their would they trigger to death, you know, one way or another. So, you know, again, when you dog yourself, you know, then I have other family members that have obtained of another level of prosperity or wealth in their life, and so they were able to be buy themselves a better life and a better quality of life, and to participate in practices that are more uplifting and sustainable, helps to sustain the person. And they're making it, you know, they in their 70s now and stuff. But I don't remember nobody living very long in my family. Not at all. Not at all. And that's the thing I have an issue with too. I really do. Because my granny lady I'm talking about same age as my mom would be if my mom had lived. And I never saw my mom live a reckless life. She was a size 14, but I guess again, what do you call it? Prone to, you know, genetic deficiencies. My mom died of a heart attack. all my family, I pulled their birth charts. I mean, not birth charts, they are death records. All of them died of heart attack. So I know that this right here is just really increasing into smoking the cigarettes, and any other thing I do is definitely increasing the possibility that I'll be consistent, continuing the family, thing. So the gym would be to just try to strengthen myself, to try to reduce my weight. I've even thought about saying, am I too old to become a bodybuilder? And because when I was younger, like in my teens and young adult, I was built like a Snooki. Snooki. I don't know, y'all remember who Snooki was. She might have had her moment and it went out. A little cocky thing, So I could maybe achieve that. And this is the whole thing, y'all, and I'm going to let y'all go because I know I've been on here for a while. I guess I just really needed to talk. But I have, God dang it, God dang it, God dang it. I was going to say, talk about Snooki. Real cocky. Working out. Oh. At the age of 50, my son, 31, had my first child at the age exactly of 20. He and I are 20 years apart. Had 5 kids. My kids spanned from 1990 to 1999. 5 kids, 1 set of twins. So all that time, over them years, throughout all those years, I devoted myself to taking care and raising my kids. And being a person with minimal resources. Again, my life was like a roller coaster ride. Yes, I had the moments where I had money, but when I had money, I always tried to sustain my life for long periods of time because I realized my life was like poof, and I would fall off, and it was never any consistency. I can't say never, but in a percentage range, maybe 5% of my life I had support, over the whole extent of my life. So it really depended on me and how I used the resources that came my way, or that I was able to acquire. So I carried us and allowed us to have, always have the basics, and as often as I could, because this is one of my beliefs that you have to have a particular quality of life that you're comfortable with, that kind of babies you or comfort you, And so I made that not exaggerated or nothing like that. Every now and then, maybe a little treat for a name brand, this or that. My kids was prone to hand-me-downs too. They were some of the flies name brand hand-me-downs. Nancy was not the one to spend a lot of money on no name brand. That was, if I bought a name brand, it was just by chance because it came from some place like Burlington Coat Factory or Kohl's or I'm saying something like that. Found it at a thrift store, whatever the case may be. So anyway, my whole point is talking about all that. I really dedicated my life, all that time. I realized I'm entering into a new phase of my life to take care of my kids. And for the first time, I'm about to be by myself ever, where I can focus on me. Because there's been times where I had money in my hand, like, oh, I want this, and I want that. But the kids might need new shoes, or they wanted to go to on a trip, or a vacation, or they needed a video game, or I don't know, they needed some candy, or they needed I don't know, the doctor, or they needed something. And so I was like, okay, well, when I did start spending, I made pack the series, and here y'all go. Here y'all go. So anyway, I'm entering into this new phase of life. My oldest, as mentioned, is 31. My youngest 2 are 21 or something like that. Or they're about to be 22 now, something like that. I was going to holler and ask them. I forget. So, when your kids are first hit their 20s, they a little unstable. And like my older ones, got out here and try to do it themselves. They made it for a year or two and then they come back, you know, that kind of thing. So I was still here, you know, and I think I went above what I needed to do to try to be there for them, even though they don't appreciate it. They were like, she ain't there. Everything they could say. But I did it because I didn't really have much support. Like I said, about 5%. I have to point it out and literally have a whole live stream to talk about the times that a person interceded on my behalf, you know, through the years. Nothing consistent, nothing ongoing. Neither was my when I worked. Nothing was stable. Nothing. It was like up and down the whole time. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about, I forgot. Just, you know, investing all that I had in trying to get them up, because I think I was I think I did so because my mama invested in me. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a working woman, not rich, but, you know, employed, working, decent job. You know, high po class. High po class, probably she was. So she invested in me and not only her, my family. So I was raised to have a appreciation for a certain level of comfort in life, and, you know, education. Like I said, I appreciate my education. I appreciate all my teachers, and then my family with the world travels and exposure. And so I'm ghetto fabulous. I tell you, I'm ghetto fabulous, baby. And I loved that. I loved all of that. So I did my best to like give it to my kids. If I can't give you nothing else, if I can't leave you a $1 million legacy or whatever inheritance, at least I can give you this. You know what I'm saying? To awaken you, to enlighten you, hopefully build up your self-esteem. None of it worked though, y'all. None of it worked. But time will tell. Some things got to get in you and incubate. So hopefully it's incubating. So anyway, all that I had was invested in them. Everything, high, low, whatever. We were there together, and I realized even when they were entering adulthood, that they didn't have the support, and so I still tried to stay and offer what I could offer. And now, once again, they on their feet, and I think this one time for the long haul. And I can see a competition going on between the 5 of them. You know, like who gonna do it, who gonna build it, who gonna make it last, you know, who gonna live their best quality of life. So everybody working and doing and hustling and riding and loving and they building their families up. And I'm sitting there, okay, just don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Don't irritate me. I don't care. Just don't irritate me. Don't drop your kids off. I got 2 grandbabies now. Don't drop your kids off at my house, you know, unless I ask. If I say I'm a baby, don't do that. And that's another blessing I had, having 4 girls, and they didn't have no grandbaby. One of them just had a baby. So I'm like, okay, I did that right. I was able to, you know, instill in them, you and your baby gonna be outside. Herb if you do. So they did that. And then I talked about the white couple, the mentors, and what they invested into my children too over a long period of time. Greatly appreciate them. And so now, anyway, for the first time, no, I don't have no love in my life, but I'm okay. Especially after what I went through unnecessarily. I wasn't cruel, mean. I didn't warrant it. None of the attempted abuse. So, above that. So I am free. I am free for the first time to do me. That's what all that rant was about. To do me. To focus on me. If I get $10 tomorrow, it's mine. It's mine to do with me, do as I will. Like the granny and her daughter, they the kind that they be like, you want to go grocery shopping, you want to go shopping. Well, they fashionistas and they do traveling. Like we on a diet, we vegan. They do the vegan thing and stuff. We ain't buying all that food stuff. We ain't gonna eat it. They gonna go get them some whatever they gonna get. They gonna be fly. They gonna ride fly. Well, I didn't have, you know, I didn't have that choice. So to make the choice about if I'm gonna buy food or not, because I knew if I didn't buy food and chose to go do a gym or do a vegan, and I got 5 kids and something happened, oh my God, who I'm gonna call? Like I couldn't make that happen. No, made my ear hurt. Oh no, let me put my money where it is. Let me, okay, people talk. Let me buy this chicken. I got to take the skin off of it. We're going to have a freezer full of chicken, beef, fish, all the canned goods in the world, of course. I don't care. But I just could not see, because I'd have met people. I didn't frequent different social circles. I'd have met young women that had kids, and the woman would have a man, and the kid will be home. I didn't want people kids. I got to I didn't want people kids coming over my house. Because the kids would be so hungry, or maybe they were greedy. I don't know. Once they got in my environment and saw what we ate, I cooked a meal every single day. Every single day. Baby daddy had testified to it. He this big, but it just like it cooked every day. And these kids would, I remember one time going over to this lady's house. It was a associate of an associate. And so I'm with them, and we go over there. She gave her children, one slice of bread and one wing. I thought she was just cooking and just giving them, something to hold them off. That was dinner. One slice of bread and one wing. And it ain't that she ain't have food. It was, and then I couldn't say nothing if she just didn't have no food, and all them babies got was with bread and a wing. Everybody got bread and wing, that's okay. But that wasn't it. She had a freezer full of food, bread and wing. This child. And then had the man sitting there with a plate full of wings. So goddamn, my goddamn bucket of wings on his plate. Half the loaf of goddamn bread with the sides. You didn't. No, you didn't. And that's another, men they be jealous. Like me, I always did this in order. See, devil got tricks. I always did it in order. I cooked a meal every single day. I'm not including breakfast and lunch, which was always a part of the summer. Not necessary in the fall when the kids at school. You know how it go. But always dinner. Cook the dinner. My kids ate first. They ate from the smallest to the biggest kid. Then I went to the man, and then I ate. But you see what I got? You see what I got? Devil. I guess I was busy eating there while I was cooking. That's what tasting it. And then eating was left on the baby's plate. Like, yep, you didn't eat this off that bone. If she could stop it in this world. How you doing, Alicia? I see you. What's been going? Hi, Z. Welcome here. Ticket Angels, Fly Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy. And I started this live stream to talk about love. And I done went off somewhere. I was supposed to do a study session. I was going to study the astrological chart a year ago for February 14th. But I never got there. I got caught up in an Aquarius rant. Telling all my business on this here YouTube, this public platform. Hi, Sydney. Oh, you wanted to ask questions? See, I'll be getting all caught up in myself and my testimony and all that. Because when I leave here, I'm leaving something behind. Don't y'all let them close this YouTube down. Y'all got to protest. Okay, I'm going to read y'all comments. Okay, I have to ask to go for the gym, try to reduce weight and increase my life. Sydney, if you're still on here, sure, you could ask a question. And then I'll end with that. I have something very deep to share. And what is that? Don't be on no stuff. Did you know perhaps not even God knows where God came from? That's some deep stuff. Well, see, I don't know if it's done. I think I might have thought of that before. How does God know it's end or beginning? I don't know. It's deep. Each time I ponder it, it opens up new levels. It does. Some people won't even think on that level. Interested channel. Thank you, Z. Some people won't even allow themselves to contemplate or think on that level because you can feel the bend that happens in your psyche when you start pondering those type of subjects. Like, like, wow, like the sky. You ever be out in the summer, you look up at the sky, oh, it go on forever. Make you wonder, where does it end? In all of this, where do we really sit? Where are we? You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, wow, how did God, whomever created this realm and all that's in it, how did they create over right as of now, 7.8 plus 5 billion people that all look different, with the exception of some twins and a few triplets and crazy people that had them quadruplets, some stuff. How do you make 7.8 plus billion people look different? You know? How did he create the, I don't know, the language, that the tone, very back, you know, you got to admire such creativity. Oh, you got to admire it. You got to admire it. It's like if God, everything, is he forgetful? Is he? That's the, did he forget about us? Oh my God. Hi, Alicia. I say hi to you, but hi again. Yes, I feel you feel the pain. That is a good way of putting it. You do. I mean, I done, I done felt that being throughout my life. So many times that at times I had to stop, Z, and I literally had to go into prayer. Like, come on back to me, man. Come on back to me. Come on back to me. Come on back. I done had to pull my mind back because it was about to break. And one time I posed, a couple of times this has happened to me, which led me to know that people won't ponder to that extent. Now, after I get my mind back and realize I'm dealing with a subject that leads my psyche to be vulnerable and my consciousness to be vulnerable, I have to ease myself into it. I have to walk myself, like the little scenes I was talking about earlier. I don't know if you were in here, Z, talking about the little scenes that we're instructed to put in order when we're kids. I have to walk myself through it very slowly, one step at a time, like walking on ice. Now, but I have posed the question, like one day, and I talked about this, y'all, before. It was about 5 or 6 summers ago, I think. That me, my daughter, and my next door neighbor was sitting outside my house. And we was just sitting out there chilling, just talking. And all of a sudden, it was this eerie, this is in the middle of the day, it was this eerie sensation that rolled across the sky. My daughter, she was sitting in a chair. Me and her sitting next to each other, neighbor across from us. My daughter immediately like, and me, I'm like, my neighbor like, what the hell? But you could feel it. And what was it? It was a dragon of some type. I ain't never even thought about no dragon except for the two that came out my head. But as far as it moving through the sky, it was like the essence of a dragon. And what it was saying when it was calling these, like, basically it was saying this. And it said, they don't even know. I'll devour them all. I will devour them. I'll devour them all. And he was just going back and forth. It was a big ass dragon. Now, mind you, that's my experience. We're not talking about this experience as it's happening. I turned to my daughter like, she's like, and she looked at me and said, you felt that? I said, I did. I said, why you ain't look up? Because she went like this. Said, I can't do that. She said, I felt it and I heard it. It said it would devour us. We all heard the same thing. We all heard the same, even my neighbor. She was like, mm-mm. My neighbor's like, no, She said, That's all she, So people, my daughter told me, so the conversation ensued after that. My daughter said, I can't handle that kind of stuff. I can't. It can't fathom it. Now, she didn't just sit next to me and had the experience. We had the exact same experience. It was a dragon, and it was like huge. You could feel the weight of the body or something, like compressing down on the air. The air, I don't know how to express it. And it was like they don't even know I'm here. And I'll devour them all. But I was trying to say it with the intensity or the villainish sound. It had, I'll devour them all. And it had the potential to literally devour us if it chose to do so. But it just kept it moving. And you could feel after it moved. That break your psyche. And I'm going to say this, and I ain't going to stay on it, but the concept of death. Like, what's that? Can't comprehend it. I can't get on the wave and ride it. That I one day ain't gonna exist. But I didn't balance myself in it because I was like, one day in the past, I didn't exist. It was before February 6th, 1970. I didn't exist. Then here I am. So it's got to be okay. I was somewhere else. I came here. I'll be here for the appointed time. Then I'm moving on. Keep it moving. But that concept of death, oh my God. People can't handle that one either. They can't handle that one either at all. And I think a lot of times we ignore even the spirits we see in others because we can't handle that. You can't handle that. When you feel the presence of another entity in somebody you know, where does that happen at? Where does that happen at? No. So, managing, okay, despite lockdown, how are you doing? I'm doing well, Alicia, and managing. Actually, I'm like, it's become the norm to me now. Heck, it was the norm before all of this. Before all of this, this was basically my norm. So, I don't know. Yeah, you see, that is good. Okay to put. Do you want to know the closed thought I have ever pondered, which helped me see through a veil perspective? Yes, yes, definitely. I had this moment where I realized we were basically in an ocean of oxygen. Wow, y'all listening via sharing. One of those perspectives I can say thoughts, ponderances, that we're all in an ocean of oxygen, like humans in the deep, and the birds are a fish. Wow. Wow. And like the fish and seafloor dwellers, they cannot see the water. Makes sense. It sure does make sense. I mean, the thing we call oxygen, why we just discern it, but it is parallel to the water, isn't it? Because we sure enough can't get in that water and stay, can we? Without the appropriate technology. Ain't that something? Just like we cannot see the ocean of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Yep. If you take a moment to look, it will open up a whole nother level. Open up a whole nother level. That is interesting what you are explaining. That is deep. That what you just explained, you can feel the ocean if you have waves. If you wave your hand, the air, what would we call air in the hand? I know that sensation that you're talking about. Yes. A matter of fact, the other day, where was that? It was yesterday. See, in my hand, all that is real. Yesterday, I was somewhere and I felt, you know how if you go get in a pool of water and when the waves coming to push you, I'm like, and it was pushing me. I was like, and I'm in front of people, I'm around people. I'm like, oh my God, Nancy, stop acting weird. But I could feel it moving me. I was like, and I wasn't outdoors, I was indoors. I was at my son's house. I was at my son's house. I just came in and I just stood there. And it was like, I could feel it. I was like, oh my God, stop acting weird. All these people here, stop acting weird. It was the grandbaby birthday. That's where I was. My grandbaby birthday, third birthday. Like weird old grandmama. I know she was like, Grandma, what are you doing? I'm like, trying to get my sea legs. I was literally saying that. I was saying, oh, I'm trying to get my sea legs. But I ain't say that to them, but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get my sea legs. Yeah, I'm in front of too many people for this, So, oh, yeah, we live in a very weird realm. It's really weird when you think about it. Fun. It can be fun, but it's weird as shit. I did make it. Anyway, y'all. Oh man, I enjoyed this. Thank you for lending me your ear. I like to subscribe to a great energy and insight. Well, thank you very much, Z, and welcome once again to Can Angels Fly. And don't forget, my name is Nancy. And if you're ever interested and order your own personal tarot reading. You feel free to do it. Do this, do this, do this. Contact me at my email. My email is angelsfly1 @gmail.com. Until then, or until later, y'all. Bye.